to Nomad at Night, starring the one and only Nomad.
Yo, No Maniacs, welcome into the show. This is Nomad at Night here on your favorite Sunday with your favorite homies. Here to kick it, man. And, you know, the Bears base is still buzzing. We're still buzzing. We're still hiring coaches. We got news on that. You know, I don't know that news broke when last time we did a show, Kedz. I have no idea about the Bill Johnson hiring. I don't know if you knew about that, but that's in the books. We hired Eric Bieniemy, the running backs coach, but we're going to save that for a minute, you know, just to get to this conversation that's shaking up the world. You know, you know, this is not Chicago Bears content right here, what I'm about to say, but I got to spend a minute at least talking about it because I do love my hoops. But the Los Angeles Lakers shook up the world late last night with the huge, mega earthquake trade of Luka Doncic from Dallas to LA for who was it? Anthony Davis, man. And Lord, it was like crazy. It was crazy, man. I saw it on Facebook and I was just like, you know, you on Facebook, you see a lot of fake news and all kind of crazy stuff going on Facebook. But I was just like, all right, I turn off Facebook and, you know, just meandering around YouTube, doing my homework with these players. And I go back to Facebook on my phone and I see it again from a whole different host. And I'm just like, what's going on here? So I went back to YouTube. And next thing you know, you got people coming out of the woodworks with these breaking news podcasts that Luka Doncic got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm like, holy wow. Nobody in the world could have imagined that move. It's like a whole bunch of moves out there. And by the way, the Bulls just traded Zach LaVine. You know, that I knew that the Luka trade would trigger a domino effect, but I didn't know how fast it was going to happen. So right before the show came on, I'm looking on YouTube again, and we just traded Zach LaVine to Sacramento for the only name that I heard out of that so far. Y'all probably more than I do is Kevin Huerter. That's the only name I know out of it. We didn't get the guy that, you know, you would have imagined we would have gotten in a trade like that, and that's De'Aaron Fox. He went to to San Antonio. So that's crazy. But for Chicago, you know, this is what it is. You know, there's a lot of people in the Bulls fan base that do a whole lot of complaining about Zach LaVine, and we need to trade him. We need to get what we can get from him. And, you know, next thing you know, he starts playing at an all-star level, and they're like, hold up, whoa, pump the brakes. Maybe we don't need to trade him. Just to show you how fair weather fans can be sometimes. You know what I mean? Just creatures of the moment. And it's sad to watch that, but however that works out, I'll get details about that, you know, after the show. But never mind all that, kids. We'll talk about that in just a second. How about some pleasantry before we start kicking it, man?
Well, it's Sunday. It's franchise mode. We're going to do this damn offseason thing. We'll talk about what happened this weekend by way of coaching. Should be some good old Bears fun. Let me give you guys a little bit of love out there. Starting with the big homie, the super no maniac. It's Crimson. Yidig. Yo, what's up, Crimson? Always generally the first guy in the chat, so you got to give Crimson some extra love just for. Big shout out to our guy, Super No Maniac Black Diamond, Super No Maniac FFG style, and a member of the Nomad Network itself. Got to give a little bit of love to FFG. What it do, my brother? There are guys out there hanging out with us today. Marco King, Nick Rembert's out there. Shout outs to you, Nick. Shout outs to Super No Maniac Marlon Johnson as well. Cliff Victoria just jumped in. Perfect timing. What it do, Cliff? Odds are, I haven't. As soon as I see your name, I get hungry, Cliff.
By the way, Cliff, hit me up. I don't know if you know the email. Let me pull up the email. Hit me up on the email. I got a little something I want to holler at you about. Little something. Hit me up here, man. Hit me up at the email here at nomadlivepod2023@gmail.com. Just hit me up. I got something I want to, you know, run by you and see if you might be interested in. But just check me out on there, man, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I might not see it right away. Don't get offended by that, but I might. You know what I mean? I might see it right away. I might not, depending on what I got going on. But please do hit me up. Got a couple suggestions for you. But go ahead.
Yeah, man. Mr. Mayhem just jumped in as well. Shout out to you. And I guess we can, start to get things started from a topical perspective. Been a couple of interesting maneuvers this week. So, where do you want to go first, there, Nomad? What are your thoughts?
About I'm trying to get up some comments. What we want to talk about here, man? We got plenty of.
We can talk about Bill Johnson. I think that's probably if we do it in chronological order, it's probably where we start.
Okay, how about this before we even go there? Let me say something about the Senior Bowl. I don't know how many of you guys watched the Senior Bowl, but I came away from it, and this is not a Nomad chest beating moment where I'm trying to take all the credit in the world, but I'm going to take some credit because before the Senior Bowl, wasn't a whole lot of nobody talking about these names right here, and that is Jack Besh, receiver that won the MVP of the Senior Bowl. I didn't see nobody else out there talking about him, but this network over here. Jack Besh won the receiver, won from TCU, won the MVP. Landon Jackson, the big defensive end from Oklahoma. I didn't see too many people talking about him. Now I'm looking around. Now he's on people's thumbnails, and people are interested now. That's good, great. Also, Jonah Savanea, the big guard tackle from Arizona. Didn't see him up on too many people's thumbnails and too many people's podcasts, but now all of a sudden he's in that conversation. And one more guy, cat from Minnesota, edge rusher named Ja Joyner. All of a sudden, he gets to the Senior Bowl and people, hey, he's made some money out here. Guess what? We figured that out over here at the Nomad Network from the very get-go and put information out about it that you guys need to check some of these guys out. And we ain't even scratched the surface yet on all the players that we're going to highlight. And so just so you know, we getting it done over here on this side of the podcast business. We're getting this recruitment and this whole, prospect spotlight stuff. We got this covered over here, man. So I'm proud to say that we've been doing the job and getting it done right over here. So I'm patting myself on the back a little bit, patting us over at the Nomad Network. If you can see me right now, exactly what I'm doing right now, patting. Giving myself one.
We can't see. I'm just letting you know. Hey man, that's very cool. We definitely drafted a couple of those guys in our first mock draft. We're likely going to go through another one tonight, but we're going to preface it with some manage the cap stuff. So I think that's really important to understand because it's tough to just jump into a draft blind like that. So we're going to do the exercise today, and hopefully things make sense as we go on. Shout out to Damon Dice for just jumping in. AC Adam as well. Big love to you, Doc. And a couple of those names are a few of the guys that we decided to focus on. Definitely Jonah and definitely Landon Jackson. I think both of them would be fantastic fits for that 31st and 41st pick. Or sorry.
Uh-oh. Kedz froze up for a minute. Oh, give it a few seconds. He'll pop back in. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And he did not sign, and he did not click back in. So guess it's just me for right now, y'all. Hold on.
Hey.
There he goes.
All right, I'm back. Yeah. Man, I don't like this. Anyways, all right. As I was saying, I could see them both winding up with us down the road, but let's keep it moving. What do you want to touch on this?
Well, let's get to the coaching stuff right now. But let's just anybody that saw us when we did the college prospect show, they already know that we hired Bill Johnson as the defensive assistant, not the D-line coach, but a defensive assistant. And so, everybody pretty much kind of jumped out there and said, hey, we hired this new D-line coach. No, we did not. Per Brad Biggs, he's going to take a different position, maybe a senior role in the defense or whatever it is, but he's on the staff as of now. Right now, the word is he's taking a defensive assistant role. I don't know if it's a senior role or not. I'm just assuming that. But he did not take the official D-line coaching job. And so that happened, in between the time we did the last podcast, kid. So you got to take on that, go for it. I can give you a little bit of history on him too, if you want to know.
Well, I'm looking at his history. He's been doing the darn thing since 1980. Like I was 4 years old. You know what I'm saying? So if we're talking about experience and looking for a guy who knows what the heck needs to be done with a defensive line, his name is Bill Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm looking forward to what he can bring to this team. And the upside is, it sounds like, in his opinion, he's probably just sort of getting a little bit long in the tooth, and he doesn't necessarily want all of the responsibility of being that quote unquote defensive line coach, but he can definitely oversee that and help train up a guy, right? Help direct a guy to really be that D-line coach. So expect to see another hire relatively soon.
He's got, I think I love the skins in the game that he has, man. The fact that he's got a history, a track record, this winning track record of he's gone to places in 3 different spots, L.A., LSU, and even down there with the Saints. He was on that staff when they won one. He's got jewelry. And I think you can never underestimate that. You can't undervalue that. Don't devalue that. That's probably the most important thing he brings to the table, is the 2 things, is the seniority aspect of it. I've done this. I do this for a living. That, and the fact that he's gotten hardware and jewelry in 3 different spots, 3 different campaigns, whether it was a pro level, twice on the pro level, and once in the college level. So, I mean, that is, to me, that's probably the most impressive thing about the guy. You know, he's I can listen to how he talks. I can tell that he is going to have a profound impact on the people that if he chooses to specify his attention to the defensive line, he's going to have a big impact on those guys. Big, huge impact. If he just takes an overall view of the defense and says, hey, I'm going to kind of play, your confidant, Dennis Allen, just tell me what you want me to do and what you want me to focus on. I'll just take that role, whatever that is. I can understand that. He'll have an impact one way or the other, because guys like that, it's hard. And he had retired, kids. He was out of
Did he really?
Yeah, he retired. They got him out of retirement to do this.
I'm not all that surprised, because just from the timing, I would assume he was probably a little bit of a mentor for Dennis Allen. Right? Like the timing for Dennis Allen, I think Dennis Allen came into New Orleans as a DB coach in 2013 and then moved into the DC role a little bit later on. His tenure over there was from 2009 to 2016. So it would have been right through Dennis Allen's transition from doing what he was doing. They would have been working very closely together. And I'm sure he probably really served as a bit of a mentor, given at that point, man, he'd been doing the darn thing for 20 years at that point, right? So I think this is a good little, reconnection between the 2 of them. I think it'll go very far, and we've seen stuff like that sort of work in the past. I know how much Matt Eberflus would have loved to have Rod Marinelli on this staff. Matt Nagy reached back to try and get. Oh man, I'm blanking out. There was somebody Matt Nagy brought on here later to sort of mentor him as well during his tenure with us. I'm blanking out on names, but it's always good to have yourself a little bit of a mentor, a little bit of a sounding board behind the scenes. And when guys get a little bit up in age, they're really not going to want to be at every practice doing, being sort of down and dirty with all these players. But if anybody's got the experience doing it at every phase, it's Bill Johnson. He definitely has experience doing it on the line, with the end, with the DEs, with the tackles, with the linebackers as well. I think the only thing he hasn't done maybe secondaries coach, and just looking at the sheer size of the man, I can understand why.
Let me pull up a couple of star comments we got here. Marlon Johnson just hit me up to something I didn't know about. He said, hey, Nomad, you see Eric Washington got the DC job with the Jets.
Yeah, he did.
That is, I gave. You heard me talking for weeks about Eric Washington and how impressed I was with what he can bring to the table. I wasn't BSing when I said it then. I think he came into the situation and evaluated what we had. And I think he kind of, there's something going on with that team that prevents them from wanting to really get after the quarterback and really rush, because we was expecting him to come in there and dial it up really quick and really get after the quarterback, simulated pressures or however he was going to do it. And quite frankly, he let my expectations down quite a bit. You know what I mean? And that's just I just don't know what he looked at when they gave him the role of defensive coordinator. What did he see on film that had him playing kind of like Flus in his first couple of games? Kind of like Flus. Didn't look a whole lot different than what Flus was doing in the first place. I don't know if it was just he didn't want to get away from what they were used to doing and comfortable doing, or, he just, I don't know, but I just know this. They just got a really good one in New York. I think Eric Washington is going to tear it up there. I think they have a better defensive front than we do. I think they have a deeper defensive front than we do. And so there's going to be things that he probably couldn't do here on a regular basis that he'll be able to do in New York, because they have a little bit better personnel up front than we do. And that's just the truth about it. So shout out to Eric Washington, man. I think he's going to tear it up.
I don't feel the same way. Where I agree with you in full is that defensive line in New York is pretty solid, man. It really and truly is. They've put a lot of investment into that line, and it, for the most part, shows up on a weekly basis. I'm just worried that Eric Washington has sort of walked into the exact same situation that he was just in, right? He's going to be the DC behind the defensive-minded coach, head coach, who may want to call the defensive side of the game as well. So it's interesting to me as to whether Aaron Glenn will come out and say, hey, look, yeah, I'm going to be calling the plays, or will it actually be Eric Washington? Upside is Eric Washington definitely has a little bit of, he's had the opportunity to call plays, not just for the Bears, but elsewhere as well. Perhaps he'll unhand the reins and allow him to actually do what he's supposed to do. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm going to get to a couple of star comments before we move on.
Right on.
Let me see here. Last says we haven't seen a legit coaching staff like this for a long time. Still need to see results, but very encouraged. I am too, man. I would call myself cautiously optimistic about it all. I do like the hirings. I do like a lot of the hirings. Some of them is just kind of the wait and see, about all of it, to be honest with you. But I do like some of the experience they're bringing into the building. I'm head over heels with the hiring of Dennis Allen. I think you could not have gotten a better defensive coordinator in this cycle. There was no better defensive coach in my mind in this cycle. There was no better available coach out there that could come in and do what I know Chicago Bear fans want to see. Dial up a defense and make it aggressive and make them get down here and play some Chicago Bear football. I know that Dennis Allen can – I was listening to his interview when he got the job. I know that he knows that. He knows what he has to do to meet that challenge. He knows that the Chicago Bears are known for aggressive defenses that play and kick ass. And so he needs to meet that standard. And so there was not a better coach in this cycle that was going to get me turned up the way I'm turned up about that hiring than Dennis Allen, man. I am still over the moon. I think that was the biggest home run hit. People might say it's Ben Johnson. I think not. I think it's Dennis Allen was the best hire, because while Caleb is in here trying to absorb another offense, and it's going to take time for him to get to where he needs to go. We're going to bring in all these new pieces from free agency and the draft. We're going to get probably, I would just say, 5 to 7 new starters across, on both sides of the ball, maybe more. And that's just the way I estimate this thing. And so it's going to take some time for all of that stuff to come together. But in order to keep where you need to be in the competitive battle, you need a defense that can, hold it down and make sure that while you're coming along with this offense and this young quarterback, you got something that can keep you steady. And so I know that's how the game is played. And so I am so over the moon about that pickup. I didn't think there was a chance in hell the Bears would land him with the rookie offensive coordinator taking his first head coaching job. I didn't think so, but I was over the moon by the fact that we got him. So I just wanted to put that out there, man.
Man, I'm right there with you. I'm in full agreement. They needed to get somebody along these lines. I personally have three names, but he easily is the top of that three-name list without a shadow of a doubt. So I'm glad to have him on the squad. I'm like I said, I'm also I'm glad to have Bill Johnson. I feel like what they're and this will I can't wait to see what the rest of this this coaching staff rounds out to look like, because I have a feeling that the guy that we get for defensive line coach is probably going to be a little bit junior. I have a feeling, and I'm fine with that, especially if we have the backup of Bill Johnson behind him to sort of help guide him along. I think these guys are really sort of creating their own coaching trees, and it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out over the course of the next few years.
It's interesting to see Nick Rimbert make this comment, and I'm going to read it off for you. Thank you for the comment, Nick. He says, I give it 6 weeks for Caleb and the offense to look elite. I think the defense will take off right away. That's exactly what you hope for. That's exactly what you hope for, and that's why you make such a strong hire as a defensive coordinator. Basically, they're basically cushioning themselves for, we may not get off to a flying high start with this, second-year quarterback, new offense. We might not. That's just the truth about it. Everybody's expecting, fireworks and explosions like it's going to be the 4th of July. Now, I think the best way to look at this is to make sure your defense is rock ass solid and make sure they got it rocking and can keep you in games while that's coming along. That's the best way to me. I'm not telling anybody how to fan. I'm just telling you as a football person, that's probably the best, the most wise way to look at it is temper your expectations offensively. Expect him to come in here with the pieces that we have defensively and be able to get this thing rocking and get these guys playing downhill and attacking and turning the ball over and giving them multiple opportunities to get offense to get their hands on the ball and score. That's the best you can hope for while this young boy is trying to get himself adjusted to a new offense. Because the fact of it is, having a new offense, second offense in his first 2 years, that's going to be, I hope he's working now. I'll just put it to you that way, kids. I hope he's getting this shit in now and not in fucking Paris, doing fashion week and shit like that. Get this shit in now, homeboy. Get ready.
I was trying to think of like a Fashion Week related comment. I have none. I've never had any interest in Fashion Week. I hate to see that all these guys somehow might have an interest in Fashion Week. But hey, it is what it is. Football is football. Hopefully he's out there actually learning how to get better at football. But he does have a few months to mess around, same token. So, get your fun in now while you have the opportunity, young buck, and come back ready to do the darn thing. But you're right. They may have to backfill for a couple of weeks and just make sure that the defense is rock solid. And as we go through this mock free agency exercise, there's clearly work to be done on both sides of the ball. Nothing is in place. I'll just be realistic about that. This team can't touch the quarterback. So, this existing defense is all right, but there's so much work to be done. And same token, once Andrew Billings was hurt, we realized there was a whole other level of problems on that defensive line. So great to have a guy like Bill Johnson here one more time, just to sort of take a look at the personnel that we have in place and help us make sure that we fix it the right way. We can attack the quarterback and get some level of pass rush accomplished, because if we can, that secondary starts to become very, very, very dangerous.
And by the way, since we have this this graphic of Bill Johnson on the screen, I don't know if I mentioned it to you last time we were doing a show, but you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that he's the reason Akeem Hicks left the Saints and made money here in Chicago. You know that, right?
As in, he trained him up or got rid of him?
Right. He got that guy where he got to, and he came to Chicago and made his money.
Well, we sure could use an Akeem Hicks right now.
There's a couple of them in the draft. I'm telling you right now. Okay. Jason Jones being one of them from Auburn. I don't know if I put that out there yet, but we did the show and put him on He's got the same body and build of Akeem Hicks. He's Akeem Hicks 2.0. To be quite frank with you, it's about getting the right big boy in here and having the right people to train him up. I love the fact that the Bears are, doing resume searching. You know what I mean? Check these cats' resumes. One mistake that we totally made, that was a big flub, with the Eberflus hiring. I still don't have that big of a problem with the Eberflus hiring, because every coach is going to come in, especially if they're an inexperienced head coach, they're going to come in and have to learn. It's going to be a learning curve for that guy too, just like anybody that's doing anything for the first time. We've spoken to that many, many times. But I never really had a big problem with the Eberflus hiring. Defense, I'm all about that.
As in the hire as head coach of the Chicago Bears?
I had no problem with it whatsoever.
You really?
No. I didn't know who he was until.
But that's right there. That statement right there should have been your problem.
Well, I'm trying to go here though.
Okay.
The problem that I had with the hire is the people that he hired as his staff. No experience. He's the only guy on the staff that really had experience at really doing what they did. Other than, I think maybe the O-line coach. I think that guy had some experience as that's his specific job. I'm talking about coordinators, the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator. They were all new at their jobs. That's the only problem I had with it. But then me being an optimistic guy and trying to give everything a chance, it's like, hey man, back off. Let's see if these guys can learn on the job. Maybe they can. They might turn into some outstanding ass coaching staff, but they didn't. And so I think in hindsight, this is why you're seeing the kind of hirings you're seeing right now. Yes, they did just second time in a row hire a first-time head coach. Yes, they just did that 2 times in a row. A lot of people had trepidation about that, kids.
3 times.
Yeah. So I still don't have that problem. It's about, okay, if you're doing this for the first time, guy, and I think your leadership as far as leading men, I think is a little questionable at best. I think you make sure you get some solid, qualified people in here that have skin in the game. Make sure you surround yourself with that, and they've done that. They've done that so far, and that's the shit that makes me feel good about the entire situation. But yeah, that's how I feel about this whole thing. I think they're doing some shit that I think is smart.
Yeah, if we're talking about the Eberflus thing, I'll give it a little bit. My problems with it was really the guys that, the other guys that I know that they had interviewed. Again, one was a Super Bowl. Both of them had at least been to the Super Bowl. There was some stroke there, right? So when I hear Matt Eberflus is the guy we hired, I'm like, who's this guy? Now, facts of the matter, not to take anything away from him, he is now with Dallas, I believe, as their DC. You guys all know he's going to crush it in that role. He will. There's no two ways about it. He's one of the better DCs in the game. He is, and he proved that year on year here. But coming in the door, I was a little bit confused as to why you would get the relative unknown as opposed to the 2 known commodities. I didn't have a problem with it being on the defensive side of the ball. For instance, Dan Quinn was on the defensive side of the ball. That would have been fine too. But that's really where my headspace was. This time, it ain't this like. Let's compare it to Matt Nagy. Again, Matt Nagy was a relative unknown as well, right? And I think in that there's a little bit of an issue. But this time around, we got the guy who's a known commodity. Yes, he's a rookie. He hasn't done it before, but he's a known commodity. We've seen what he's been doing over the course of the last 3+ years, right? He's doing stuff in Miami before that. There's a little bit of a track record that we can go back to and look at and go, all right, well, this guy in the rookie capacity has a pretty good understanding of the offensive side of the ball. What I'm glad it was an offensive coach is that, once there's some level of success, he's not going to just pick up and disappear and the offense crumbles. So I'm really glad about that. I'm also very glad about the fact that they then backfilled it with a defensive coach, a defensive coordinator by all stretch of the imagination, who has a level of experience that is much higher than the head coach of the team. You know what I mean?
Hey, kids, people talk a lot of shit about how conservative the Bears front office is and how, out of touch, the McCaskies are. And to me, they saying that, to me, that's coming out of their ass, because the McCaskies are some dice rolling motherfuckers when it comes to head coaches. Yeah, they roll that dice and say, you know what, let me give this guy a shot. That Kevin McCaskey is out there on Cicero shaking them dice up. Hey, give me, I need I need some shoes for my baby. He rolling them dice, goddammit. I'm telling you right now. He rolling them dice on head coaches, man. You gotta give him some credit.
I don't know if I can give him credit because it ain't working. It ain't been working. If you go to the casino all week long and you come out in the red, I'm not sure if I can give you credit. But at the end of the day, right now, what we're looking at is something that I think we all have to just flat out agree with. I think we all do agree. I think they got the right guy. Even if it doesn't work, I think they got the right guy. And I think they spent the money to get the right guy. So again, a couple years down the road, if this all doesn't shake out positive, I'm kind of okay with it, because they did their due diligence. They got the right man for the job. They're now building out they're building out the Avengers here, the super coaching squad, and I'm with it. I'm all for it.
Illinois say I sound crazy. What you can't picture McCaskey on the corner on Cicero shaking up some dice. Hey, we need a new coach. Give me a 7. Yeah, man, they gamble on coaches, man. They gamble on coaches.
He was snake eyes for about 25 years, bro.
I ain't saying they win, but I'm just saying he ain't scared to shake them dice up. I'm just saying on that.
Oh man. Anyways, yeah. I guess you got to give him a little props for going to the casino, but them results is a whole other thing.
Yeah, I hear y'all, man. I'm just talking shit, Bear Truth. I'm just talking a whole bunch of shit. They gamble. They gamble when it comes to hiring coaches. They don't mind giving a guy they're impressed with his first opportunity. You can see that as a trait in the McCaskey family, can you not?
Yeah, no. In that respect, I have to agree with you. Again, like we've seen it in the Matt Nagy's a great example of this, right? They gave him that opportunity. Mark Trestman's another great example of this. Didn't work. Like I said, this ain't been working for about 20 years. Sorry. None of these examples are good examples, but they are examples of what you're talking about. They've given these guys the opportunity to do the darn thing and saw something in all of these gentlemen. Unfortunately, it hasn't panned out. This time, though, I think they found the right guy.
I don't know about that, man. We're gonna see. I'm not jumping to no mother.
I'm just saying consensus.
More, bro. No more. I'm gonna find out. And they're gonna prove me right or wrong. But Illinois Jones has a different take on it. He says gamble or not paying for legit coaches. That's another way to look at it.
That is. It was a gamble not paying for legit coaches. Like I'll work your words around. It was a gamble not paying for them, like not getting the Bruce Arians when you had the opportunity to get the Bruce Arians and going with the guy from Canada. You know what I mean? Like none of these things necessarily were the obvious move. Again, I would have to say Dan Quinn would have been the more obvious move. Guy was just in the Super Bowl, been doing it for a couple of years, and you went with a guy that nobody knew. Nobody had no name record. Who said it? Was it Travis Kelce? I think it was Travis Kelce in an interview, and he was looking at all the head coaches in their like annual picture, and he's like, I don't even know who that guy is. I've never seen that guy before in my life. And he's talking about they point to Matt Eberflus. It's kind of funny, but hey, he's real good DC, and he's going to prove it again in Dallas. More props to you, Matt. HC. I don't think that's really your forte.
Hey, man, we got one known in this cycle, 2. Well, Bill Johnson is a known. We got Dennis Allen is a known. You know what I mean? He's like they're making sure the defensive side of the ball is clean and correct. Yeah. I would just say that. But let me get to this next guy because he got hired, in the time that we were out of here. And let's talk about this for a minute, man, because we hired Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy has taken pretty much a demotion. So he was in the hiring cycle for a couple of years in a row, 2 or 3 years in a row. It's been a whole internet squabble about him, not getting head coaching opportunities. People saying a whole lot of things about, okay, he didn't call plays when he was down there as an offensive coordinator under Andy Reid. Everybody ran with that. That's probably true. I mean, I can't imagine him calling plays with Andy Reid standing there. Facts. I can't imagine that Matt Nagy's calling plays with Andy Reid standing there. That's facts. When he went to UCLA or when he went to Washington, here's another fact. He got probably the best season out of pretty much somebody that's probably ought to be working at Walmart as a quarterback than I've seen in a long time. I can't remember that quarterback's name down with the Commanders. Little guy.
Heineke.
Was it Taylor Heineke?
Taylor Heineke.
He got a lot out of that kid, man. He got a lot out of that kid. He got a lot out of that offense. And so the guy has chops. If you want to credit everything that they did to Taylor Heineke, fine. I ain't got no problem with that. None whatsoever. But if you want to give a little bit of credit to where it might be deserving, you might want to give Eric Bieniemy a little bit of credit there. You know what I mean? Because Taylor Heineke, to get what he got out of that kid in that offense that year, I thought that was pretty special. He went to UCLA and basically itched the bed. Basically, is what he did is when he went down there and took over the head. What was it? O coordinator or head coach? I think it was O coordinator, but I think he crapped the bed down there. But that's another thing. Now he's going to be the running backs coach here. And look, I'm going to tell you something, man. I don't know how many people do the research that I do and go find out all you can about an individual before you choose to speak on him. I'll choose to go there. You know what I mean? Before I start running my fucking mouth about who I think someone is. I think that's the best way to go about life is before you start running your fucking mouth about somebody, find out who a person is. And so I think I got a good sense of who he is as a human and as a good sense of who he is as a coach. And I'm going to tell you this. I think Eric Bieniemy is a damn good coach, number one. Number two, he is going – they ain't going to like him at first. I'm telling you right now, the running backs in that room are not going to like Eric Bieniemy at first. I'm going to tell you why. Because he's in your face. And he's talking shit to you. And it ain't cool. I can testify from experience that coaches like that, either they're going to rub you one way or the other. Either you're accustomed to a guy like that, or he's going to be like a nuclear bomb in that room, and he's going to be on that field talking cash shit to you and be like, hey, man, you better get your shit right. Miss an assignment if you want to. That bald head motherfucker is going to be on your ass. He's going to be on you. And maybe that's what they want. Maybe that's what they want in the building. But I'm telling you right now, he's going to rub some people the wrong way at the beginning. But if they give this cat some time, he's got nothing but results from the players that he's been around, period. And that's what I can tell you about Eric Bieniemy. I think he's a damn good coach and a damn good human being.
Why do you think he's like that?
Because that's the only way he knows, kids. It's like, why are you the father that you are? It's because that's the way you know, bro. That's the way you know. If you ever had that wonder why you're the father that you are, all you have to do is just really look backwards a little bit and see, and it'll lead the breadcrumbs right up to your kids right now, 2025.
Bang on. And, to get a little deeper, it has to do with the fact that he's been a running back in the NFL through college. He has the pedigree at that position. He had success at that position. Eric Bieniemy was no joke on the field, straight up. No joke when he was playing football. People are a little bit sideways with respect to his coaching tenure. I get it. Maybe he's a little bit of a jerk as a coach, but clearly being a jerk definitely worked for him on the field, to produce on the field. And his stance on it is going to be, y'all need to be jerks too. You know what I'm saying? You guys need to also be a little bit of a dog too, because I'm not so sure if there is a dog in that running back room. he might be the alpha dog in the running back room. And unfortunately,
we got dogs in there.
Okay, now. Well, let's get them barking then. Let's get some barking going on. I think maybe he's going to be able to do that. You know, hopefully he can do that with the dogs we have in there. Again, if you believe that that's who they are, I'm not so sure once more that transcends or works with an entire team from a head coaching perspective. I'm not so sure that it works with an entire offense from an OC perspective, but I am definitely going to say it should work in the running back room.
Listen to what Minister Charles is saying. And first, let me get to Black Diamond's point. He said, "I'm telling y'all right now, I think Roshan is going to have a problem with him. I don't feel that he can take tough coaching." I'm gonna park that comment for 1 second to get to Minister Charles's comment, and says Eric Bieniemy played a big part in MJD, talking about Maurice Jones-Drew and Adrian Peterson's success.
Yep,
they couldn't stand that motherfucker. That's what research will get you to find out. They couldn't stand him at first. They loved the guy.
They didn't like him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally that simple. They didn't like him. But man, was MJD a thing when he was helping him out? Was Adrian Peterson a thing when he was behind him? You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy to get in that room. Well, hey man, why didn't you get 2 more yards there? What the hell?
Hey,
and I know this guy's going to do exactly that.
Illinois said he got a Super Supremes pizza from Castellanos waiting for him. Hey, we're going to get to the draft. We're going to get to the entire offseason. We're about to do that. But you know how we roll over here. We got to make sure we talk about everything and get perspective on all this stuff. We're going to get into the entire offseason and how we think we should go about it in just a minute here. But I don't want to shortchange Eric Bieniemy's hiring because, you know, I don't think it's a big deal, but I think it's a big enough deal to where whoever you decide you want to go with in it could be a free agent out there. There's the Jonathan Taylors of the world who I've been talking about for the last couple of years that I thought the Bears, I think in this hiring cycle, one thing you might agree with me with, Kedz, is this. In the last free agent cycle, there was a couple of running backs that I thought were game-changing running backs, and that was Josh Jacobs and that was Saquon Barkley. We talked about it ad nauseum the entire offseason, and I felt like we probably should have got one of them, but I was okay with the Swift hiring. I was glad that we got one of them. He was like the third tier of those backs to me, or the second tier of those backs, in my opinion. Now, in this cycle, there's no backs of that magnitude on the market, I don't think. There won't be a back of that magnitude on the market. Now, I do think there's a possibility on the trade market for a guy like Jonathan Taylor, who I think is also up in that tier of those running backs I just previously mentioned, being Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs. I think he's on that level. Matter of fact, I know he's on that level. And if there's any opportunity, now, if you decide that, you know, maybe we don't want to spend capital in the draft for a running back and we got the money to shore up our running back room and get a solid bell cow back, and that's the direction you want to go, I think that's the only real direction you can go to get the best qualified running back that might be available for a trade. So I think that's possible. You know what I mean? If they want to really shore up that room. But the truth is, they got to get somebody. And either you trust yourself in the evaluation process and draft the right back, or you go get a known commodity. But you better get that fucking running back room right. I know that.
Yeah. So the question earlier on was like, are we interested? Are we with a potential John Taylor trade? I'm going to say 2 things here. The first one is nope. And the second one is like they got to do something to fix it.
Would you rather spend $22 million on Trey Smith, a guard, or $22 million on changing the face of your running back room?
I would rather spend. These are good questions. I would rather spend like $12 million to fix the running back room, and spend the remainder on a linchpin left tackle or guard. Right? It might not be that Trey Smith name everybody's throwing around at $22 million, but You know what I'm saying? Yes, this room needs to be repaired. It needs to be fixed. The difference between what I'm saying and what the John Taylor question is that we're going to lose capital, right? We're going to lose capital to get John Taylor and pay him, just like we did with Keenan Allen. So I would rather keep the capital in your pants.
You might be able to give a second or third for Jonathan Taylor and some futures.
Bro, but this is what I'm trying to say. That's to
just
me
so they can get that contract up out of there. That's an issue with them in Indianapolis. They're not in the spot where they can really afford to be signing Jonathan Taylor to a basically they've been getting him on a franchise tender or something for the last couple of years. I don't know exactly, but he's got about $20 million coming to him straight. Yeah, he's got about $20 million coming to him, and I need, in order for me to get to where I need to get to, I know I can pay him $20 million. I know I can pay him $20 million, and I know that I don't want to give up too much capital for too long to get him. I think I can give up a second or third for him, and maybe a future second. You know what I mean? To get that guy in the building, and I don't think that's off. I think that's probably the perfect way to look at it.
I think that's those numbers make sense, but I think those numbers are astronomically crazy for this team, right? So I'm gonna back up to where you were at the beginning of this conversation, and that was, Saquon Barkley was on the market, Derrick Henry was on the market, Josh Jacobs was on the market. Those guys are probably worth that type of number that we're talking about here. Those three guys, I would pay that kind of money for any one of them. But we decided that was too rich, and we went with the third-tier guy. I'm not sure if now you can go back to the well, spend the 22 and the draft picks when you didn't have to do it last year. Those guys were free.
Hey, I'm just throwing
That's just crazy to me now. Don't Ryan, please don't go do it now.
You got to find a trade partner for DeAndre Swift.
There's that factor as well. If you could find a trade partner for DeAndre Swift to get maybe a second or third for him, and then maybe flip those, that capital over to get a John Taylor, wheel it and deal it. But real talk, no. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm saying no is just because there's a draft, right? So we can get it back. That goes without question. But doing what we're talking about will sacrifice likely an offensive tackle and a back. It's just crazy. I wouldn't do it.
Legit.
Good to talk about. But.
Legit Pack fan says, now all of a sudden you guys want running backs because Josh Jacobs and Gibbs in Detroit set the NFC North on fire. Dude, let me tell you something. Everybody, I think this season proved a whole lot of people wrong about a bunch of things. I think the running back market is back in a big ass way, in a way that I'm so glad to see, because I always felt like, man, people don't give these running backs enough credit, because everybody wants to see the high flying, throwing for 400 and 500 yard quarterback standing in the pocket like a goddamn statue. That game is gone. That game is gone. You're going to deal with a whole lot more RPO quarterbacks that can run and maneuver in the pocket and that can really get it done on the ground with their feet versus, this statue standing back there in the pocket making 4 or 5 progressions before they fucking throw the ball. Who's got time to do that anymore? Nobody, because the defense is too freaking fast. What you can do is get yourself a mobile quarterback and a good bell cow ass running back and make them a double threat. So if you're Lamar Jackson, either you're going to hand it off to that big number 22 in the back, I might pull it out of his belly and run and take over the edge because the edge set himself up the wrong way. But that's the future of the NFL. So until we realize it as fans and understand that running backs are important and quarterbacks are too, you ain't going to see those big, you have those games where you get 400-yard passes. Yes. But that'll be few and far in between the games where it's going to be a guy with 250-yard passing and probably 30, 40, 50 yards on the ground. And the running back getting 120, 130 yards. That looks to me the way it's going to go. And so we have to be able to understand that. As fans, we need to be able to understand that this is where the game is going, and you need a bell cow running back to get you where you need to be. They pace the game.
Look, I fully agree with that, and my problem here is the way the market is shook out. And last offseason, it kind of shook out in our favor. We just didn't pull the trigger with the right guy. Is really the best way to look at it. We didn't. Even like two guys that will be likely in free agency as we do this exercise later on are Aaron Jones. First of all, the guy that was like we sat here and watched Aaron Jones, man. We were watching this game, me and Nomad live, and the whole time I was like, man, I'm so sick of seeing this guy just run up and down, just crossing routes, receiving. I'm sick of seeing this guy. I wouldn't be mad seeing him in a Bears uniform though, for once, maybe doing all them things for us at a relatively standard price tag. He's likely in free agency.
Fair market value. $20 million is fair market value.
$20 million for him? No chance.
Who are we talking about? Who are we talking about?
Aaron Jones.
Oh, no. Okay, I thought you still talking about
Aaron Jones.
My bad.
Yeah, no. John Taylor, you're right. It is fair market value is $20 million. I don't think we're in position to pay that. Another guy to talk about is a certain Nick Chubb. Now, Nick Chubb might be a bit closer to that $20 million conversation, I'll be honest. Mind you, he's coming off of a major injury, couldn't get it done last season at all. But we may be able to take advantage of that, giving him a longer contract and coming in and around, I would have to say maybe $8 million a year, $40 million contract overall. Not bad, right? I think that's a conversation. But 22 plus a second and a third, we just, what I mean? That just flushes the future in down the toilet, man. So that's where my headpiece is. It'd be great. It'd be great to have a back like John Taylor. I just don't think we can afford John Taylor at this present time, unless we're able to trade DeAndre Swift and recoup some capital that we can then use to trade again. Maybe.
Man.
But yeah.
I think you can afford it if you want to.
Yeah.
It's about what you see. Like I can tell you this right now. This much I can tell you. Let me pull this down. I'll leave this up as a matter of fact, because what I'm about to say kind of relates. I know this. It's not hard to tell watching a Ben Johnson offense what they would prefer to be doing 75% of the time, and that's running the ball. How are you going to do that? Are you going to just take what you got and try to put a Band-Aid on the O-line, or what are you going to do? It's clear and obvious to me they know there needs to be some changes up front. And on the offensive side of the ball first. They know they need to solidify the line. The second thing they know they need to do is, I'm not going to say that DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson can't be pieces that they can use. I'm not going to say that. I don't think, I don't think as much of Roschon as maybe your average Bear fan does. And that doesn't mean I don't like him. But I know that we can get a better football player than Roschon Johnson. Under the circumstances, a much better football player. You know what I mean? I think we can keep a DeAndre Swift if we need to and draft a bell cow running back. I put a couple of them out there already. I think Devin Neal is gettable, in a round that we can get him in. There's several running backs out there. I think Devin Neal is superior with his running back ability overall. He's not a deep, I'm going to run this thing for 70, 80 yards on you. Nope. He's going to get his ass ran the fuck down, kids. But that dude will consistently, when I say consistently bust out 30, 40-yard runs for you on a regular basis.
Well, there's two other potential free agent backs that are of interest to me. The first is Levante Williams from Denver.
Oh, no.
I like him. I think he's real good. And if he's a free agent, I think he might be helpful to our squad.
If they can get him for the right dollar amount, I'm with you on that, Javonte Williams.
I'm not sure. The point being, I'm not sure he will be a very pricey back to get. Right?
I don't think he will be either. He had a down last year.
This is a guy that I would like them to look at in free agency. The other guy is really good. He just got hurt at the wrong time, so it might be to the Bears' benefit. The other guy that I'm interested in free agency is Dameon Pierce from the Texans. Dameon Pierce is really flipping good, Joe. He had 2 fantastic seasons, got hurt toward the end of the second season, and then they replaced him with Joe Mixon. It took him some time to get healed up again. He came back, played a couple of snaps, but Joe Mixon basically took care of business for the remainder of the season. So I don't know. I would kick tires on a guy like that if we're talking right now, which is what we have to do. We got to sort of talk about a running back by committee situation. So I would be looking for 2 backs this offseason to straight up replace the 2 backs we have, like for like. We need a more shifty, replacement, pass catching back replacement for DeAndre Swift. We truly do.
How about Rashard Smith
in the draft?
Oh yeah.
See, there's about 4 Travion Henderson. There's about 4 or 5 of these guys later that we can grab, right? Like and earlier too. There are a bunch of them. And then you look at another north-south back, because clearly Roshan ain't getting it done north and south. We're having a problem getting single yards at times. And if that's the case, we need some help north-south. A guy like Judkins, north-south. Quite frankly, Travion Henderson is only 3 pounds lighter than Judkins and an inch shorter. He might be able to do all of those things. But yeah, I think we need 2 backs. I think we need to backfill this running back room and make sure moving forward that if we're kind of forced to do the running back by committee thing right now. Like I mean that because of the contracts in place. You get 4 of these guys who can really do the darn thing, and let Eric Bieniemy yell at him.
How about this, man? Because I would love to circle back to the fat ass Luka Doncic conversation, because his ass is fat and like to drink beer and eat steak and be all kinds of ridiculous, and wonder why he got traded out of Dallas. But we'll save that conversation and let you fire up the GM Ryan Poles machine so we can get this damn offseason underway, man. Go ahead and do your thing, kids. I'm gonna play sidekick and be the best. You know what? You want to take roles? You want to try to take roles before we get into this? You can feel quite fine being Ryan Poles if you want to, or whatever role you want to play.
All right, look, I will be Mr. Poles here. As much as I hate the guy, I'm just playing. You know what I'm saying? I will be Mr. Poles. You can feel free to be an Ian Cunningham, keep me straight, or even, well, I think that's probably the best role for you, because you know what I mean? It covers both sides of the ball. We're going to be looking not just at defense, but at the whole thing. Or maybe you're Ben Johnson. I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah. How about this? You just be Poles, and I'll just try to play every other role. I'll try to be Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson and Ian Cunningham.
Rock and roll. All right.
And when it's all said and done, cuss Kedz the fuck out, not me.
It's all my fault. And just like I cuss him out on a weekly basis. It'll all work out. But yo, big shout outs as we start this thing out, as we fire this thing out. No shout outs to Taylor Swift. I'm sorry for the ads, but it is what it is. But big shout outs to Pro Football Network. We gave them a little bit of love on our thumbnail, but definitely giving them love right here, right now. Because this offseason simulator is actually pretty cool. Something you generally miss when you do their mock drafts, which we'll likely spin into at the end. But it's right up here if you want to do that as you move forward. But boom. Chicago Bears, you're on the clock. It's now the offseason. Basically, our salary cap is $277 million plus, carry over $5 million from last year. There's reserved $12 million for a draft pick, so keep that in mind. That's not an issue as we move forward. That's already been sort of cordoned off. Active cap hit is 200. All right. So the remainder here is about $62 million, $63 million with two and change in dead money right now.
Hold on, let me get this down. We got what, 62 million right as of now.
That's what we're looking at. 62.9. So just under $63 million is what we're looking at. All right.
What are we're trying to get to what people seem to think is, and I've seen it as low as 92, no, as low as 90 and as high as 96 when all the cuts and all of that stuff was done. So let's try to play that. Let's be that. Let's try to get whatever we do into that category. So anywhere between 90 and 96 million. However we do it. Let's just try to play it the way those are the reports out there.
Yeah, there's different ways to get to a number like that, and we'll sort of go through what these contracts look like, and you can see a couple of them on the screen now as we go forward. My thoughts when I look at this first was like, cut a bunch of these guys who were carrying major contracts. But as you can see, cap savings when you cut them versus restructured savings is an interesting look, right? If you cut a guy, you got massive dead money, which then is deducted from your cap space. So you got to be careful with who you're cutting, when, and why, right? So I'm glad that this thing actually gives you what that savings would look like in many of these scenarios. And if we just, as a for instance, cut Montez Sweat, we're minus at the very least $8 million on the existing cap. All right. So right off the bat, I look at this Montez Sweat situation, and I think a restructure might be a great idea. Right. So basically, we're pushing part of his contract into the future and paying that down the road. And why I say it might be a great idea is we can save $13 million just by basically extending him out one extra year. All right. Which works out well. I don't have any problems with Montez. I'd like to see him here a little bit longer. So that's my sort of thoughts on the restructure. Do you have an argument with the restructuring of Montez Sweat to gain $13 million for this season?
How much of a cut are you asking the guy to take realistically?
He doesn't. So, and that's what's cool about a restructure. This does not affect their take home at all. All it means is that I'm saying I'm going to take the money, this $13 million of your contract, and put it into a void year in the future. All right. So in the future, even if you're off the team, we still owe you $13 million. So that's going to be amortized as a smaller portion of a future year. You're still getting your money regardless. It doesn't affect you and your takeaway this season at all.
I can digest that. Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to restructure the homie. All right. So the cap hit went down. That's fine. He's still going to get his money regardless. Everything's fine. Secondarily,
did we just move up in cap space?
Oh, for sure we did. We moved up $13 million. So we're now up to 76 and change. Okay. We could do that again with DJ Moore. I'm going to suggest that we don't. The reason being is more rooted in this. I'm not so sure that these two guys have a connection. We need to find out if they have a connection or not before we decide to move his money into the future. Okay, because he might want to get out of here. And that means we're just going to be paying him and he's gone. Montez might be here. Right? And that's why I was comfortable with the restructuring of his contract.
So we'll leave well enough alone with DJ.
That's my thoughts with DJ Moore. Jalen Johnson. Like we could, but I don't really have an answer as to why we shouldn't.
I think we, to me, and I'll let everybody cuss me out. Y'all can. To me, I think you asked Dennis Allen, and you asked Dennis Allen, okay, Dennis, we're paying Jalen what? How much a year?
So wait now. Now you got to look at what I'm showing you on the screen first off. So this number here, if we cut him, we lose $9 million. And
we're not going to cut him.
No chance. So my thoughts is really the only thing we can do, because he was just paid this season, only thing we could do is push the better part of that 9-9 into the future and use it this season. He still sees his money as a bonus. There's no real difference to him and his takeaway this year. The difference is to the Chicago Bears general manager when I'm well fired in 5 years, or when I'm still here doing the darn thing and we've won multiple Super Bowls and it's fine. You did?
Yeah. I think. Well, go ahead, Kedz. Finish.
I understand. So, like, that being said, I think we kind of have to leave him alone, or maybe we restructure into the future. But it's such a fresh contract just signed. I wouldn't touch it this year.
I say we circle back to him.
Cool. All right. Next guy on the list, everybody's favorite linebacker, Tremaine Edmonds. Tremaine's got a $17 million cap hit, $13 million in dead money. If we cut him, we actually are positive $4 million. If we restructure him, we're positive almost $7 million. So I know this is crazy because I've been basically saying cut him for a while. But because the restructure actually leaves us with more money, and it also sort of keeps him on the team in a situation where he hasn't been as effective as he could be because the defensive line is terrible, it gives him an opportunity to make up for that. So, plus, we save the money.
Okay, so one thing I know for sure, and you don't want to do too much of that future stuff unless you think you can bang on the door for a championship right now. So either you're gonna have to get to you're gonna have to have that come to Jesus moment with your roster. You're gonna either say to your defensive coordinator and your offensive coordinator, "Hey, you just tell me, based on what I told you as far as what this money is costing us, do you think it's worth keeping this guy and looking down the road, and what you want to do in the future?" Like Tremaine Edmonds, if you think we can keep him and it doesn't cost us anything, I'd say leave that contract alone and let it play out. You know what I mean? Really, either that or trading. Or you're not going to trade that contract. You're not going to trade a linebacker for that much.
But this is my point, right? So we're definitely not able to trade him. He makes too much money. We can cut him and get a positive result, right? We can also restructure him and get a bit of a better positive result. The real upside to restructuring with this guy, I know you don't, always want to throw that money into the future, but the real benefit of restructuring with this particular guy is now you don't have to go back into the market and find the perfect linebacker to fit the bill. You keep him on the team, you restructure, get access to that capital, because that's really the major issue is, like, is this guy living up to his contract? I'm going to have to say he's not. Hate to say it, but I've said it before.
I think there's one guy that is available for a contract restructuring. That might be Montez Sweat. I think if you mess with Jalen's money, you bring that to Jalen gonna buck. I think Tremaine, I just don't think you want to move that contract into the future because it's going to give you're just basically stalling out a problem for later on. And so either you play with him or you trade him. And I don't think you can do anything but play with the guy. That's all I think. That's my personal opinion with that.
All right. Well, look, we're going to come back to Tremaine Edmonds because I think the restructure is the right move, but we'll come back. We'll move on to Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet's a very interesting situation, but it's right there in front of us all. So he's got an $11 million cap hit this season. Dead money is $4,800,000. Cap cut savings is much more positive than anybody we've seen thus far. Almost $7 million in cap cut savings. Restructure savings is less in this scenario, but again, just under $6 million. Right this minute, hate to say this, dollar for dollar, Not sure if Cole Kmet should be on this team, given the fact that we're going to save $7 million by cutting him.
I think you have it's a tight end, and I think just ignore the name Cole Kmet, and you've been used to him for 4 freaking years, going on 5, and just understand the business. Understand the business, and we're not going to do the most popular thing all the time. And so people might be in this chat saying, hey, y'all crazy, man. What you don't get rid of Cole Kmet? Do what you think is best, man. Do what you think is best.
Well,
I would say save him to see if you can trade him. That's what I would do.
It's unfortunately there's not really a trading feature here. That would take this will take long enough as it is. But in this scenario, I have to say we got to cut Cole Kmet. We got to cut him. So I'm gonna cut Cole Kmet. Don't hate me later. Hate me later. So now we're up to 82 and change. We've just scored another $7 million in cap. DeAndre Swift is next up. He's making $9 million. He's got a $9 million cap hit. Dead money is 8.7. So the cap cut savings for DeAndre Swift right now is $100,000. So this is sort of what I was saying a little while ago when we were talking about the running backs. Because of this contract, you kind of have to look at a running back by committee situation. Cutting him is only worth peanuts, real talk. We could restructure him and add another, basically add another year and push it into the future, but I wouldn't want to do that given his level of play. So I'm just going to look at these numbers with DeAndre and leave it alone. I'm saying I'm just going to leave it alone. We will do the running back thing in free agency and in the draft as we move forward. That's we can do.
So you're getting cussed out about Cole Kmet.
I'm sorry, guys. It's okay. Like I'm sorry. How about Noah Fant? Don't worry about it. We'll get there, dog. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. We will get there. Maybe we draft one in the draft, but
all right.
We're trying to get to around $96 million so we can do what we're trying to do.
All right. So what you gonna do with DeAndre?
I'm leaving him.
All right. Leave him there. That's a good idea. I think you should. That's the speed back. We're gonna try to get into a situation where we got a more powerful every down back, and so we'll just leave him alone.
I'm sorry, Illy. I'm sorry, Bear Truth. I'm sorry to all you guys, but hey, it's the exercise. It is what it is, and as we saw this past season, he was not being targeted for the life of him. I don't know if that was a offensive coordinator thing, if that was a quarterback thing, but the facts are we got so many holes to fill. We need more capital to do it. If we could have traded him for something, I would be with it too. But Kevin Byard is in a situation where he's got an $8.5 million cap hit. Dead money is 1.5.
If you can keep him under those dollars, good. But if nothing else, if he asks for it, give that motherfucker a raise.
Who? Kevin Byard?
Hell yeah.
Oh, you're damn straight. So, I'm so with you. I'm just putting the numbers out there and just showing you guys what it is, right? So the cap cut savings is 6.9, almost $7 million. So I'm not crazy now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not crazy. I'm definitely keeping Kevin Byard because he's one of the single most impactful human beings on the football field, period, for the Chicago Bears this last offseason. Love you, brother. You're sticking around. No questions. TJ Edwards. Everything I just said about Kevin Byard applies to TJ Edwards.
Get that motherfucker a raise.
Yeah, regardless as to what, we're just gonna leave this man alone. He's good to go. 55. That's 7. This has got to be he's got to be the best 2 contracts, period, on this entire squad. Just crazy.
I agree.
Now, let's move on to the other tight end. So I can go back and restore Cole Kmet if y'all want in a minute, and we'll cycle back.
And don't listen to him, man. Do what
you. No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not really listening to them. I'm just saying that now we're at Gerald Everett, and the savings from a Gerald Everett, if we cut him, is about $5,500. $5.5 million.
Hold on. But for the record, Bear Truth 9 calls you Kedz McCaskey.
Oh, harsh. Harsh. That's cold, bro.
You want the crown. You gotta wear it, King.
I guess I'm wearing the King Pole's chef hat. It's
that's cold, Bear Truth.
It's heavy wearing the crown, bro. It's heavy, bro. Damn. But yo, look, I think I'm cutting Gerald Everett. So let's be real. I might go back and restore Cole Kmet for y'all because y'all a little bit PO'd about the Cole Kmet thing. But one of these two guys with these high contracts has to go. Cornelius Wells says cut.
Gerald Everett got to go.
So Gerald Everett, see you later.
There, man. We don't have a long ass conversation about him.
All right.
I do think DeMarcus Walker's body type and the way he plays football is going to fit perfectly under Dennis Allen. I mean, perfectly.
So 0 TEs, Crimson says, like I said, Crimson, don't worry. I can go back and restore Cole, but let's go through the exercise first. And if the dollars make sense, I can still pull Cole before we finalize. All right. The power of Kedz compels you. Triple R in the building. Love it. So in this case, it'd be big savings if we got rid of DeMarcus Walker. I'm gonna have to say I'd be stupid.
You know what? Don't be a homer about it. If you think if you think that it's prudent to let DeMarcus Walker go, roll with it then.
I don't. I think we're gonna have a tough time finding another IDL to really fill his shoes. We're still gonna have to do it in some capacity, but I think he's worth this five and change. Right? That's just me.
That versatility is priceless.
I agree. So I'm sticking around with DeMarcus Walker. Darnell Wright clearly not touching him. Roma Dunze on his rookie deal. Kyler Gordon, no chance I'm doing anything with this contract. This is fine. Cairo Santos.
Hold on for a second. Mr. Charles, I need facts, man. Don't come in here telling me that they have agreed to trade Hendrickson, and we have nothing to back that up with. And so they had put up a big orange and black wall, and said we will not trade Hendrickson. We will not move Trey Hendrickson. Mr. Charles is telling me that they have removed the wall and said basically they'll trade him. Minister Charles, don't be in here starting shit now. I know how you roll. Don't be starting shit. I need to know.
He ain't lying.
What are you seeing?
I'm seeing the hype for Trey Hendrickson trade has spiked. Now, Eric Lambert's putting it out there. Harrison Grant's putting it out there from Chat Sports. That does not mean that anything has been done. So just keep hey, watch your tone, buddy.
You get me talking about some Trey Henderson, Mr. Charles, man. You better come in here knowing what you're talking about because I'm on that shit.
It's out there. I'm not sure if anything has been actually done. I don't expect that it has. So keep that in mind.
No. There's gonna be nothing announced, but is there talk about the ownership being willing to let him go because they definitely have some issues there. They're gonna have to let a guy or two go, whether it's Trey Hendrickson, whether it's that receiver, whatever it is, or maybe both of them. Just to get where they need to get to for Joe Burrow.
No, it ain't just Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase is on the docket this year too, right? So they need to pay Jamar. They need to pay. They just paid T. Higgins last season. They got to clear the. You know what I mean? They got to make room on those books to pay Joe down the road as well as pay Jamar Chase now. So there's that. Right?
They paying goo gaga money for a receiver and a quarterback, and they need I think they did a decent job with the line, but they are in a tight spot. I think Joe Burrow's in trouble because I don't think they'll be able to get it right. Just under the situation, unless Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase together decide to, take about a $10 million pay cut, a piece to get where they want to get to. Nobody's doing that shit in the NFL, man. It's too
well. Those two guys might, you know what I'm saying? They might take a little bit of a pay cut to continue working together in that capacity. I think that's something to be said. Still, they still need to be able to pay these guys, and paying paying those three is one thing. Also paying Trey Hendrickson on top of that is a whole other deal. So it only makes sense that something's got to give, and I think it's given at the defensive end position in Cincinnati. So it's an upside.
Interesting little quick nugget. Trey Hendrickson's origins are in New Orleans with Dennis Allen. Bet you did. I don't know how many of y'all knew that.
I did not know.
His origins come from, again, New Orleans from Dennis Allen.
I did not know that. All right. So there's that is a possibility down the road, and we will keep that. There's no way this thing will be updated with Trey Hendrickson on the chopping block. But anyways, so Cairo Santos, we could save a little bit if we restructure him, as in $1.2 million. We can save $2 million if we cut him. He's on the hook basically for $4 million. We wind up paying him $2 million if we do cut him. Man, like,
leave that man alone. I've always said, leave the fucking kickers alone.
Well, okay. All right. I'm just saying he can't kick past 50. But inside of 50, he's lights out. There's different ways to look at it. We will leave him alone. Ryan Bates, I don't think we can afford to touch anybody on the offensive line that will be slated as a starter, given that we're eventually going to get down to Tevin Jenkins here too. So I suggest we keep Ryan Bates. We leave that alone. Juwan, that's pretty hefty. That's a good $3 million and change. We don't know what his real status is, but I wouldn't even want to mess with it. Illinois Jones is saying cut Santos. Yeah, I don't want to go kicker hunting, to be honest with you. So we're going to keep Santos, at least for the moment. Braxton Jones, this is actually a really good conversation here.
We need a swing tackle. Keep him.
We do need a swing tackle. At $3.5 million though.
We need a swing tackle. Yes, we need to keep him.
All right, Andrew Billings, absolutely
get a man a raise.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody pay this man. Jonathan Owens. Now, I'm going to keep him because he's being paid peanuts as it is. We can save $1 million and change, but he's not making that much money. And considering what's going on with Brisker, we might need to lean on Jonathan Owens a little bit more so than not. Not doing anything with Javonte.
A little insight on Jonathan Owens. He's going to be playing a whole lot more box safety. He's a strong safety backup that ended up having to play some free safety backup at times. And the safeties need to be interchangeable, no doubt. But in this defense, I think what he'll have to do and not have to run and go sideline to sideline in a zone, and he'll have to match up man-to-man most of the time on a running back. I think those are good matchups for him. I think he's a decent man-to-man safety on tight ends. I did my homework on him. I think he can get the job done. I think he's, for the money, I think he's a Dennis Allen guy is what I want to say.
Dobbsy 34, man. Based on past patterns, we'll draft a kicker in the fourth. So he said get rid of Cairo Santos, and I had to put it on. It's pretty funny. So Javon's not going anywhere. Not enough of a cap difference to do anything with him, and he's still in rookie scope, so I'm fine with it. Same thing with Tariq, still in rookie scope, nothing to really gain here. Pickens, same answer. Kiran, same answer. Roshan Johnson's making a little bit more if we cut him, but our running back room is terrible as it stands, so I wouldn't mess with it.
No. Let that guy go.
For $800,000, like the savings is peanuts.
I mean, I'm just saying though, man. This concussion history, and I think just that extra piece on the roster. I think you can do better than Roschon Johnson. I think you cut bait with him. Just
all right, look, this one I will throw to the chat because I don't care either way. Chat, what do you think? Keep Roschon for $800,000 or cut him. I'll leave that to you guys.
We'll circle back.
We will circle back and let me know in the chat, please, folks. Tyler Scott, just about the same money, and I don't think Keenan Allen's coming back, so I would just leave him alone. He's still on rookie fare, right? What do we got?
For the record, Osmonic 74 says you keep both safeties, but you need to draft one in the second round, assuming that you sign 2 starting trench guys. Otherwise, fish for depth later on in the draft at safety. Sound ass advice right there.
Boom. Oh, Osmonic, I'm so with it, bro. So with it. I wouldn't do it in the second, but definitely a little bit later. And I think we got our eyes on a couple of these guys too. Mr. Dom Rob. See ya. Any arguments with that?
Yeah. The body type is if I gotta give you an argument, he's a Dennis Allen body type.
Wait a minute. Like, it's so funny because yeah.
I made a short on that just so people would wrap their minds around it.
Nah, he gone.
All right.
Million and change, a fair amount more than we would have got for Roschon Johnson. So I would definitely let him go. We got a couple other edges. Only one more edge to look at. But then we got to do this again. So Torrey Taylor's still in the building. We got the punter. Obviously, we spent a 4th round pick on him. I'm not cutting him now. Elijah Hicks. What do you think? Same amount as Dom Rob. You want to keep him?
Keep him. Let him compete in training camp.
All right, we're gonna hold on to Elijah Hicks at that 1.1. Noah Sewell,
definitely keeping him.
No chance I'm keeping him, bro.
You got to, dude. He's the body type. Did you see the short that I put out?
There's no way I'm keeping him.
Hold on, let me show you something, man. Let me just show you. Maybe you didn't see it. Let me give you a taste of what his type is, his linebacker type. Just for the record. These are his 2 starting. They play in sub packages like most NFL teams do, whether you're in a 3-4 or a 4-3. They're going to play with an extra safety or an extra corner most of the time. So you're only going to have in base coverages most of the time 2 linebackers on the field. Sometimes you get that 3rd linebacker. You know, he's anybody. You know what I mean? But here's his body type. Demario Davis, 6'2", 248 pounds. 36 years old, still ain't lost a step. Number 1. Number 2, Pete Warner, 6'2", 242 pounds. Pretty much the same guy. Here is Noah Sewell, 6'2", 253 pounds. He is, under the circumstance, not the kind of guy that you would necessarily associate with zone coverage defense and cloud defenses to understand that part. In a man-to-man, him playing downhill and being a thumping type of linebacker like these 2 guys are is what they play. To understand their scheme, kids, you got to understand it. When I'm trying to tell you something that makes a whole lot of sense when you look at it on film. He is going to be, I think, somebody that I think Dennis Allen is going to be like, hold up. Okay, I can understand why he didn't play, but I want to see what this dude looks like in camp under my leadership and my defense. He's going to like Noah Sewell. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you, I got to put my foot down here. If I gotta put my foot, I haven't put my foot down anywhere, but this one, keep him.
I'm just saying. So we've got 3 linebackers in front of him at the very least.
That ain't on the roster no more. You talking about those? I'm talking about
the starters that are in front of him. I'm talking about.
So right now, he's going into camp behind. He's going into camp behind TJ, Tremaine, and
he's
Jackson.
The last. He's not the 4th. He's the last. He's behind Amen Ogbongbemiga.
Those will not be here, kid.
They might not. Right?
They will not. They will not. I guarantee you that.
I'm saying we still have to go through the rest of this exercise, and I don't.
Kids, don't fight me on this. I haven't fought you the whole time. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about on this one.
Okay.
You got to trust me on this.
We've got 7 linebackers on this team.
Acumen on this.
He's the last linebacker on the team. But if you want to pay $1 million to keep him, we can keep him if you want.
If you just trust my acumen on this one,
all right.
I think later on you'll be like, you know what?
I totally need. We desperately need to cut his ass, but I will keep him here because you.
I had to stand up on the table for this one.
Because you stood up on the table for the man, I will keep him. But I totally want to cut. He didn't make it.
It's out there. It's in ether now. Kedz wanted to cut Sewell.
It's okay. And I hope he gets on the field and like makes me look stupid. That'd be great. I'm all for that.
All right, we're gonna get it down. We're gonna hold on to Noah Sewell and keep on trucking.
So Terrell Smith, yeah, I'm not. There's no way I'm cutting him. He's impactful when he's on the field. Booker's a rookie, not cutting him. Tyson Bagent at $1 million. Yeah, we need to have at least one backup quarterback. So I'm with Tyson Bagent too, and Ian Wheeler. At $1 million.
You gotta cut him.
I gotta cut him. All right, like Ryan Poles, the real Ryan Poles loves this guy. So you know what? I because this is what happened. We kept Noah Sewell, we kept a linebacker 7 positions down and cut a running back when we got massive running back problems. But I'm going to do it anyways. Peace. All right. So this is what we're looking at. We're going to go right up to the top. We got $90 million in cap space, which is
about where we want it to be.
Do you still want to be a little bit heavier than that?
No. We got where we want it to be. I think that's very generous right there.
Okay. So this is not bad where we're at. I will say the fans really wanted to keep a certain Mr. Cole Kmet.
Don't do what you got to do, but don't do it for the fans, man. You gotta be the asshole. If you want to wear the crown, be the asshole, dude.
Okay. Well, I generally don't have much of a problem with that, but I don't think there's anywhere else where we can squeeze the money. So somehow we've looked at cutting both of these tight ends. And that's the only issue I have with it. You know what I mean? Like we need to have a tight end on the roster.
Well, I'm not gonna fuss with you with this. You do what you think is right.
Resign Cole. Keep Wheeler.
So everybody that ran out on us because he wanted to sign, he wanted to let Cole go. Into basically what he did was let him test free agency is what that basically amounts.
We haven't even gotten to this. So basically, I'm sitting in my office, like what's happening right now. I'm sitting in my office. I'm looking at the whole roster. I'm going, these are the guys that I probably should cut or not. When I press the button, they become free agents. All right. So I haven't pressed the button yet. I can not submit this, or I can submit it to Cole Kmet personally. Right. That's where we are. So I think I'm gonna actually bring Cole Kmet back, just because it does hit us a little bit. It does. But the fact is, we would just go into free agency and be looking for another tight end anyways, because we're cutting Gerald Everett for almost the same money regardless. So at least now we have a starting tight end on the team, and we don't necessarily have to go and look for another one.
All right. Before we get into the next level of what we need to do, everybody please make sure, I don't know how many likes we have so far, but make sure, I know we don't have near enough. You know, I'm looking at 130 people in the chat. Please get the lights up, please. Please
like, share, subscribe, Osmonic, before you dip. And the rest of you guys do the same.
All right. Let's move to the next level.
So we're going to move forward. Bada boom. Gives us a nice little roster management summary of who's been restructured and or cut for just about every team in the NFL. So you can go through all of this. This is pretty well put together, and you get an idea as to what's sort of transpired. But that ain't it, right? There's a little bit more to be done. And why this isn't, let me move forward, is a little bit weird.
So what's the next level we need to do now is, what do we need to do, man?
So the next thing we need to do is press continue. There we go. So we're now on to.
Can we offer any trades at this point?
There's no trades in this. That's the one thing that we'll be here. We would be here all night long if there were trades, and I'm quite happy that there aren't. So now we're going to go through the actual roster. Now that I've submitted who's been cut and who's not cut, I still have the ability to re-sign the rest of the remaining guys and or tag them if the need be. I'm going to be factual here and say there isn't a human being on this team that deserves a franchise or a transition tag. Maybe one. Maybe one. Question. I think this is where things get a little bit sketchy. Do you want to re-sign Adrian Colbert?
I would like to keep him here and have him challenge in camp.
Over a potential free agent safety? We're in a minute, we're going to have access to all of the free agent safeties. All of
you
the
know what? You're right. You're right. Let's let him go for now, and if we can scoop him up on the back end, we can scoop him back.
We can scoop him up back later on. Same thing with Amir Speed.
Let him go.
Okay. Eamon Agbagbamiga.
Let him go.
Okay. Austin Reed.
And I'm not gonna argue with not a one of these guys, but Byron Coward. That's the only one I would like to keep.
Okay. Okay. We'll keep that in mind, and we'll restructure Byron Coward or re-sign Byron Coward moving forward. What about Bill Murray?
Under the circumstance, we got to wait and see if we can catch him on the back end.
Okay. All right. So we'll cut Bill Murray and see what we can do at the guard position. Carl Jones Jr., edge rusher.
I think he would fit in what we're doing. I think he's one of those guys that I think he'll see. Go ahead if that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason why I'm saying that, because we're going to get to your guys in a minute, and you're going to be like, "Oh, I want to keep both of them." So let's keep going. Chris Glazer, I would definitely not be looking at re-signing a Chris Glazer. Quite frankly, I haven't seen him on the team at all.
Real quick, Joseph Archer is pointing out something. He says, "Nomad, Trey Smith, blood clots. Is there any problem with that, or has he have any problems with that? Do I have any problems with that? Yeah. You're talking about giving somebody 20-something million over a multiple amount of years. You know, you got to consider shit like that, man. Blood clots is a serious ass thing. Serious as a heart attack. And I'm not trying to be an asshole about that, but yeah, bro. I'm like, if I see that on his medicals, I'm like, you know what, dude? I don't know about giving you $29 goddamn million. Maybe I can give you 10, 12, 15. But 20 million for 5 years or 22 million for 5 years, that's crazy. When somebody's got a history of blood clots. The guy ain't gonna do nothing but get older.
Well, that's 22 million is an interesting number for any level of medical issues, but we'll leave that there. Chris Williams, what do you think? Interior defensive lineman.
I think that guy played his ass off.
Okay, even though we kind of need to retrofit this line.
You got to keep some dudes, man. I think he was one of them ones.
Okay, I'm just whipping through this so that we get an idea as to who you're interested in potentially keeping versus guys you don't care about. We'll come back and we'll actually re-sign them. That might take a little bit of time. So Coleman Shelton, the one center we got on the team.
You almost have to keep him, but you want to cut him.
I know. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say the one center we have on the team, we can't really bleed at that position, but we definitely need to upgrade at that position. So likely we will re-sign him. Colin Johnson at wide receiver.
Bounce.
Okay. Daniel Hardy, edge rusher.
Perfect for what he wants to do here.
So the other thing about Daniel Hardy is that he's also very impactful in special teams. So I think we will be re-signing Daniel Hardy. Darrell Taylor.
We probably need to keep him, but letting him hit the free agent mark, I think you're gonna lose him.
Well, to be frank with you, it's fine if we do. I'll be honest.
But go ahead.
Yeah. Darrington Evans, running back.
Bounce.
DeAndre Carter, wide receiver.
Bounce.
Really?
Yeah.
He's probably the one guy that I'm gonna.
But we can get somebody.
And one guy I'm gonna stand on the table for because of his special teams ability. Dominique Robinson, do we want to re-sign him now that we just cut him?
I would imagine that Dennis Allen is going to like him, but he's going to say, let him see what he can get out there, and we can catch him on the back end. Let's see.
Okay. Doug Kramer, center,
Bounce.
fullback, bounce.
Bounce.
Douglas Coleman, bounce. Gerald Everett, we've kind of already gone over that. Do you want to re-sign Gerald Everett?
Nope. Bounce.
Okay. Ian Wheeler, same questions.
Yeah. Bounce.
Bounce. Jack Sanborn, do we want to re-sign Mr. Sanborn?
In order to, Jack Sanborn is going to get vacuumed up so quick. I don't think you weaken your linebacker room. There's going to be a point to where this coach is going to come in here and decide whether he thinks, signing Jack Sanborn to however much money, don't sign him yet.
I think he's one of the few guys that I don't think there's any way we can let go.
Okay, I'm just giving you the devil's side of the argument before you do it.
Go for it.
I
won't.
Okay, just sign him.
Okay. He took that one time. All right. That was actually pretty good. Jacob Martin, your boy.
Jake Martin, I think, is undersized for the role here.
Okay. Jake Curran, offensive tackle.
Man, I think he's got to go too.
Okay. Jamari Croma.
Jamari Croma fits the bill physically. I think you want to hold on to him because he's a young player.
So what's interesting here is we've got just about 6 edge rushers on the team, which spread across maybe $12 million, and we still couldn't. That's outside of Montez Sweat. We still couldn't touch the
that was under the scheme that we had, man. You can't. One thing you have to understand, Kedz, is whatever you saw under the Matt Eberflus regime, under his defense and his scheme, his schematics are completely different. As I'm talking about, his base coverages are completely different than what Dennis Allen does. So whatever you saw in Jamari Croma, Jacob Martin, or in Dominic, or any of them, consider this. It's a completely different mindset of how Dennis Allen runs the defense. And his thing is get downfield. Forget all that, we're sitting in. No, dude, they're going to get after the quarterback. But he does prefer to have bigger edge rushers, and Jamari Croma fits that bill. He's not as long as some of the edge rushers. So how about this? Cut him and see what you can get later.
That's my thoughts on that too. Jalen Jones.
You keep that guy one way or the other.
See, yeah, I had a feeling you were going to say that one too. All right. We'll come back to these guys and actually do the exercise. Joel Wilson, never heard of him, tight end. John Jackson, heard of him, wide receiver. Yeah. Here's your other homie, Jonathan Ford.
Keep that motherfucker.
I completely agree. And we can keep him for
probably $1 million raise.
I'm gonna try to lowball the hell out of him because he's a Packer. So give me a second.
Oh God, you file for reasons.
We had a Packer homie in the chat too talking trash. So I'm just saying, just for you, bro. Just for you, I gotta lowball this guy. Something wicked.
I didn't know I left Illinois. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate. Somebody's got to be that in the fucking room, bro.
There we go. So we kept John Ford, relatively low ball. That's your deal. Jordan Murray, tight end. No reason to do that. Josh Blackwell. Did we not just cut Josh Blackwell for real?
No, we ain't cut him.
Okay.
Josh Blackwell's a great man corner. They're gonna love him.
He also has a lot of special teams value. I'm gonna do the same thing. Give him one. Oops. 2-year. Boom, captain. Right. Keenan Allen. Do we re-sign Keenan Allen for big, ridiculous money, or do we let the Pro Bowler walk?
Who?
Keenan Allen.
Unfortunately, you gotta let that guy go.
You're damn straight you do. Larry Borum. So we're talking about some level of swing tackle. Do we keep a Larry Borum on the team, or do we move forward with a Braxton Jones?
We got to keep Braxton, let Larry go.
All right. Mercedes Lewis, tight end.
Unfortunately, he's got to go.
Okay. Now, before we do let him go, do you think we'll have any trouble finding a real blocking, a real powerhouse blocking tight end in the free market?
You can draft one.
Fair enough. All right. Matt Pryor, guard.
I think that dude's get him some money.
Mm-hmm.
Good depth right there.
I agree with that too. So I'm gonna give him a 2. Oh, he rejected it because he played well. Let me give you a little bit more paper, bro. Let me put you up to give you a 1.5.
Keep him in this building.
He took it. Perfect. Simba Webster, wide receiver.
I think just to make sure we got enough, you gotta let him go.
All right. So at the long snapper position, we've got both Patrick Scales here and Scott Daly. They're basically making the same type of money. Patrick Scales is, I believe, somewhere near 45 years old.
That motherfucker like 200-300 years old. Let his ass go.
All right. Sorry, Patty. We love you, bro. Bear down. Ricky Stromberg.
Keep him. Let him keep rehabbing and getting where he needs to be.
All right. I'm going to give him this. He going to take it. Just regular ass money. Samori Toure.
Unfortunately, because we got, I think Ben Johnson would like him, but how much can you get him for? Because I think Samori Toure, I think they picked him up for a reason and stashed him. We got to have camp bodies, bro.
Yeah, but camp bodies, camp bodies can come at a.
What do you think you should? What do you want to do there?
I want to leave him alone. Like, I'll be honest with you.
Right, leave him on there.
Scott. So Scott Daly, we talked about, and he will probably. You know what? I'll even give him. No. Scott Daly.
I think Samori Toure was a good pickup.
I don't know what to say because I've never seen him on the field, right? So I don't know. When it comes to these wide receivers here, Simba Webster, Samori Toure,
Mr. Charles, because we're going to draft a kick returner and punt returner.
That's exactly where I was. We can't really draft a kick returner and punt returner, right? I'll be real about that. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna circle back, and I think we got to keep either Simba Webster or Carter. And I think Carter's the better one to keep.
I think you keep the younger one. Keep Simba.
Well, I might say that if Carter wasn't awesome on the field last year in both return game and as a wide receiver when he was called upon. But we'll argue about that a little bit later on. Steven Carlson at tight end.
Let his ass go.
Okay. Tavarius Moore, safety.
Let his ass go.
Okay. Here's a big one.
I think you try to give him some money, a little bit.
Definitely try to negotiate.
He ain't going to get what he wanted.
You're damn straight he ain't. So let's start here.
Ben Johnson did bring in Alexander, by the way. That's one of the that's a special team guy from Detroit.
From Detroit.
Yeah, just for the record.
Okay. I'm willing to do something like this with Tevin Jenkins. And he took it. Boom. Love it. Love it. Theo Benedict, the Canadian Eagle.
Don't do it, kids. I know you want to. I know you want to bad as fuck.
Hey, man, if I saw him, here's the reality. If I saw him get on the field, I saw him in preseason, he looked great. If I saw him get on the field this season when we're having troubles and do something, I would be willing to re-sign. But we really need help at this position.
Dog, stop, man.
I'm just saying we really need help at this position. I'm not gonna re-sign him either way. So
I'm just saying. So before we talk about this last guy, I wanna point something out to you. Did you think there was any way in God's green earth that Ben Johnson would have kept anybody from this staff offensively?
Well, just special teams.
Not special team. I'm talking about offense.
No.
So it sounds like he kept Jim Dre, the tight ends coach. Just for the record. Just for the record. So that you understand that some guys, you can see some things specifically on film and say, you know what? This guy's not doing a bad job. You know, he's really not doing a bad job, and I like what he's doing. They can get fucking practice tape, and they can watch and experience how this guy's coaching those guys on the field. And so there's things that goes into that we ain't privy to, right? And so before you get to Travis Homer, I want you to understand this. We have definitely kept Richard Hightower. The best player outside of, I think, Josh Blackwell on the special teams has been Travis Homer. And so there's gonna be some priority guys that Richard Hightower wants to keep. And I know you want to get rid of Travis Homer, but
there's no reason to keep him. But I will I was just saying I will go with a low wallet share deal, and he rejected it. Cool. I will try one more time.
Well, now you gotta let him go.
All right, pal. So you know what I mean. So I will leave that alone.
What'd you offer him? Number one.
I'm not offering him no big money. I offered him like 1.1.
Give him 1.2.
1.2, he says. All right. Oh, he took it just because he heard you. He must have heard your ass. All right, there you go. So these are the folks that we've kept so far. We're just going to go right back down real quick and address the guys that we were interested in. There was a little bit of interest in Adrian Colbert, but I don't know if it's real. Was it real?
Adrian Colbert?
Yeah.
We got to see if we can catch him on
the flip. Perfect. Bill Murray?
Nah.
No, catch him on the flip. Byron Cowart?
You know what? Let's keep Bill Murray.
Okay.
Let's keep Bill Murray. I think he got hurt, and I think that was his problem.
That was his problem. He was doing great, and he took it. 3 years, 1.2. Byron Cowart.
I think you got to find a way to. You got to have bodies, man.
I know. So like Byron or Chris Williams, because I think Chris Williams was the more impactful.
Yeah, I think you keep Chris Williams.
Okay, so we'll re-sign Chris Williams.
I think we found something there.
I think so too. He's taking it. It's 1.2 is working.
Anybody disagree with Chris Williams? I think he was one of, to be honest with you, especially when Javon went down and, you know, he wasn't able to play. I think Chris Williams, I think we found something there. I don't know if everybody been watching the games, but I thought I seen some real strong flashes from Chris Williams. We saw some strong flashes from him watching the game live. So it wasn't just me. Kedz saw it too.
So the big homie, Coleman Shelton.
You know, don't give that fucker a raise. We want to cut his ass at the end of the day.
Oh, this is definitely
Stromberg to get a spot.
I'm really not giving anybody a raise. This is just a bargain basement opportunity that's available. He's probably worth a lot more than what I'm offering right now.
Let that motherfucker go.
You think so? All right. Just means we sign a center. Daniel Hardy, Darrell Taylor.
I think
or Jacob Martin. Do you want to keep any of those any of those edge rushers?
I'd like to keep all three of them, but I think Jacob Martin's intensity, I think, is going to stick out to Dennis Allen. So sign him first. Make sure he gets back in this camp. Damn, Illinois Jones, why you got your big face ass all in the camera like that?
He just changed up his picture just now. He's doing a darn thing out there.
That's hilarious. Hey, kids, I'll be right back. Just keep rolling for a second. Give me 1 second.
Well, we took 1-3, Jacob Martin. And the rest of these guys, with the exception of Jalen Jones, will also try 1-1. We took 1-1. John Ford. Josh Blackwell we kept. Matt Pryor, Simba Webster. Like, since he's not here, I'm gonna keep Carter for sure. While he ain't looking, I'm gonna keep DeAndre Carter because I would not want to jeopardize our special team situation with him. He was fantastic this year, and I ain't signing him for 3 years, but I'll sign him for oh, come on, DeAndre, damn it. These wide receivers want so much money, but you're old, bro. I'm not giving you no big money, bro. Yeah, all right.
I heard you're doing some bullshit.
Yeah, I am. I'm just saying, I will straight up own up, and I'm in full agreement with Minister Charles on this, though. Do we really want to do the Travis Homer thing over potentially Ian Wheeler?
Yes. The motherfucker coming off a knee injury, man. Dude, as much as we like Ian Wheeler, the motherfucker's coming off of a knee surgery, bro.
That is fair.
Get over that shit.
All right.
I like the kid, but golly, man, we got to look at reality.
I'm just saying he might.
I'm not just talking about everybody in the chat. I love Ian Wheeler just like everybody did in camp, but golly, he just came off a serious knee injury, bro. Talking about a healthy guy versus somebody that just came off an injury. Easy pick.
That's fair. All right. Either way, we're going into the market for running back. I'll just tell you that straight up. So I think we're all line of sight with what we had to do here, and it'll show us what we did. Everybody else is on their way out the door, and if we need them, we can get them back in free agency, but that is very doubtful. Boom. So who did we keep? Tevin Jenkins. He got the biggest contract out of them all. Jack Sanborn, Matt Pryor.
You gave Tevin 5?
I did.
5.
I did. 3 years. Right. 5 for 3 years. Jack Sanborn, $4 million for 3 years. Matt Pryor, 1.5 for 2. And the rest of these are like really negligible contracts. DeAndre Carter, 1.3 for 2 years. Jacob Martin, 1.3. Bill Murray, 1.2. Chris Williams, 1.2. Both of those are 3-year contracts. John Ford, a 2-year contract of 1.2. Scott Daly, 1.2 for 3 years. So we got a long snapper. Travis Homer, you begged. He's back. 1.2, 3 years for him as well. Probably shouldn't have give him as long as a contract as that, but it is what it is. Jalen Jones signed up for 3 years. Josh Blackwell is back again for 2 years at 1.1. Ricky Stromberg at 1.1. That's where we're at.
Hold on 1 second, kids, because I think I'm always in tune with the chat. So I'm gonna read Minister Charles. And I'm gonna read FFG.
Hey, look, do that thing. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, give me a minute.
All right, I'm gonna talk to y'all for a second.
Okay.
It says, Mr. Charles says, Nomad, how are you okay with some injury-prone players and not others? I just don't understand that mentality. Number one, he just had a season-ending knee injury. That's different than just some guys that get nicked up here and there. That's hugely different. Number one. Number two, FFG style says at Nomad, let a Nomaniac on to host their own draft. And I think he's talking about not just the draft. He's talking about do the exercise of going through the whole entire offseason the way that they want to do it and the way they see it. And I'm not opposed to that, man. Anybody, FFG's already been on. We want to see some new blood. We want to see somebody come on here, Mr. Charles or It's Crimson, you dig, or any other, Joseph Archer, Booker, anybody that wants to come on and do it the way they want to do it and go through the whole structural part of the whole thing. You're welcome to come on. Just send me an email. Just send me an email. And you can come on and do that. I ain't got no problem with that. I think it'd be a good show just to see other people's point of views. It doesn't have to be just me and Kedz all the time. Y'all guys can come on here and do this. I keep opening the door all the time for that. So anybody that wants to come on and go live, just know this ahead of time. It's going to be people in the chat, and everybody everywhere else is going to be like, holy shit, what are you doing? You just got to be ready to take that. And so you can handle it. If you can handle that, come on to the show and do it. Don't worry about no criticism. Just lace your boots on up, get on here and do your thing. We welcome that. We want to see more of you guys on here doing that kind of stuff. So don't be shy about that. Let us know in either in the comment section or send us the email privately if you want to come on and leave your email and we'll set it up. No problem whatsoever. I love to shut the fuck up and let you guys do it. Just for the record. But go ahead, kids.
All right, so paid the water bill. He's back. Just moving on to the next phase of the offseason manager. So now we have to spend whatever money we got left. We're back down to 60 mil, and we've re-signed all the players we want to re-sign. Team needs are at the edge, the center position, tight end, obviously offensive tackle and guard. But I think we all know you might want to look at a tight end, might want to look at a safety, might want to look at some running backs. So we'll try and go through all of the above. And yeah, so let's just start here.
Let's just take one more quick little look at the roster. Let's just scroll on down the list. We got Caleb, Tyson Bagent, DeAndre Swift, Roshan Johnson, Travis Homer, DJ Moore, Romo Dunze, DeAndre Carter, you kept him. Tyler Scott, you kept him. Cole Kmet, you kept him. Darnell Wright, we got Braxton Jones, Kieran Amagaji, Tevin Jenkins, Ryan Bates, Matt Pryor, Bill Murray, Ricky Stromberg, DeMarcus Walker, Andrew Billings, we got Javon Dexter, Zach Pickens, Chris Williams, Jonathan Ford, Montez Sweat, Jacob Martin, Austin Booker, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Jack Sanborn, Noah Sewell, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, Jalen Jones, Josh Blackwell, Terrell Smith, Kevin Byard, and that's it.
Nope, still a couple more. Jaquan Brisker, Jonathan Owens.
We got Jonathan Owens, Elijah Hicks, Scott Daly. We got Cairo Santos and Torrey Taylor.
There you go.
I think that's decent. That's a nice little diving board right there.
Not bad at all, to be frank with you. I think the one guy we probably should have cut out of all of these guys was actually Braxton Jones.
All right, Mr. Charles, I'm gonna set you up now. You got to come on in here now. I don't want to hear no shit now. Love you,
okay.
Love you, bro. But come on in here and do your thing. I think people would love to see it.
To be honest, that would be an awesome show. So, Minister, by all means, we will put that invitation out there for you, dog.
You too, Illy. We get in the email. You want me to put it up one more time? Just let me know. We'll set it up.
So, I'm just gonna do some real quick stuff here. Holy smokes! We let go of the tippy top center in the game right now. Top rated center. On paper. I'm just saying. We're looking at who's out there and what they're going to cost, etc. This is just a quick little peek here at what that is. So, yeah. Where do you want to start, bro? Because I think we probably should either start here or we should start here.
What are we talking about here now?
You're signing free agents, sir.
All right. First thing you want to do is make sure you got what you need up front. And that's the offensive line. So how about this? Let's look at the positions. What's out there? Let's start with the first position, quarterback. Do you want to get a veteran quarterback? Because you talk shit about that all year.
I did, and I do, but I don't want to pay for him. So that's not as important to me as the trenches are, and that's why I was sort of saying we should just start in the trenches.
Let's just look and see what we have. We can make some decisions. Let's just take a look at quarterback. Let's just look at all positions. We got Russell Wilson out there. Got Gardner Minshew. We got Andy Dalton, Jacoby Brissett, Mac Jones, Marcus Mariota, and Taylor Heineke, and everything under that is just a whole bunch of Joe Flacco. If you can get it, would be great. But that just let's just come back to that. Let's go to running back. Let's go to running back and see what we got here. This is not a good. You got Najee Harris. Sounds like they want to try to keep Najee. But J.K. Dobbins is out there. Aaron Jones, he's too nicked up nowadays.
I'll pay peanuts for him if he'll take it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, he's been running over us for so long, man. Anyways, Zach Moss.
We got Rasheem Mostert, Jamal Williams. We got Jordan Mason, who now that's a guy.
Interesting look, eh?
Yeah, that's interesting, right there. Circle that name. DJ Dallas. We got Miles Sanders, Amir Abdullah, Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott. Now you're picking, scraping the bottom. Nick Chubb is, I don't think he's the same running back or will ever be the same running back. But if you bring him in here, you have to understand that he might need part of this season to get back to Nick Chubb. And so you can probably get him for peanuts right now and have a steal. But I don't know. I haven't done any research on Nick Chubb and how he looks. I couldn't really give you a qualified assumption about Nick Chubb unless I really looked at him. So I don't know.
Okay. There's still some more, man. Cam Akers ain't bad. Naheem Hines, Avery Williams, Chris Evans.
I love Naheem Hines.
Really? I did when he was doing it. He just hasn't been doing it lately. I'm just gonna scroll down here because I'm hoping somewhere that Dameon Pierce would show up, and he did.
You're not signing Dameon Pierce. I know you like that guy.
Bro, if we can sign him for low wallet share, I'm sure as heck signing him.
We got to draft running backs, man. So just know that.
Running backs or running back?
I think they're gonna get at least one. I think if they get rich, they're gonna get two different kinds. Yeah,
so
I've been right so far. I ain't saying I'm gonna be right this year, but I've been right since I started being a podcaster, man. I ain't trying to say that I am now. I'm just putting it out there. So but I don't worry about running back in this free agent market, straight up.
Well,
Mason is a guy that we might want to seriously consider, bro. That was impressive. And we run the same kind of offense as their
Jordan Mason?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So these are the guys that I would be in. Oh, there's one more. These are the guys that I would be interested in if we're really looking at the running back situation. Starting with Dameon Pierce at a low wallet share case scenario. Rico Dowdle is not to be slept on. Say what? They'll resign. Well, in this scenario, they didn't, right? They didn't in this scenario, so he's available to us. Myles Gaskin's all right, but I'm not really looking at that. I would be looking at your Jordan Mason, just like you said, and maybe Nick Chubb and maybe Aaron Jones. So those would be the running backs that I would have interest in this time around. Because Aaron Jones is getting a little bit up in age, I bet you we can get him for a decent deal. Bring Herbert back, he says.
Let's not tussle over this position yet.
We're going to go through.
Let's get to the wide receivers and see what we got.
Wideouts. Yeah, I don't even want
Tyler Boyd, this ain't an impressive group to me either.
It's not. And I like if we're talking, you know what? We're going to grab a wideout right now.
Well, you gotta name them. You just gotta assume that everybody can't see what you're looking at.
We're gonna. Well, I will. I'm just saying we're gonna get a running back, but let's go through them. Keenan Allen's out there. I think he's too high price tag for us. Khalif Raymond, Deontay Johnson, Nelson Aguilar, Darrell Patterson. These are the top 5 in this particular class, and that's
you probably would want to look at what Khalif Raymond is off being, what his market value is. Because he comes from Detroit and he was very explosive with Ben Johnson before he got hurt.
Okay, just give me a second, and
I don't even know what his injury is, but just to see what his market value is.
Give me a second. I'll get an idea as to what that is. So Khalif Raymond. Market value is potentially about $6 million. 6.5.
After an injury, he probably we can park that conversation, but let's Let's move on to the next position.
All right. Whoa, there's a lot more guys here, and like it's the lower wallet share guys that become interesting. So
love me some Mac Hollins.
There you go. Right, these are lower wallet share guys.
That guy right there. If you're going to bring in and install a certain kind of personality amongst your receivers and have them buy into the blocking concepts that is going to have to be bought into under Ben Johnson to get that offense often and looking the way it needs to look, you got to have guys that can do that physically and can be dominant at that. Mac Hollins is definitely a guy that would be one of my first, him being on the free agent market right now. He made some money and he's worth some money.
He is. He really helped out that Washington team, as you can see in the playoffs, if you got the opportunity. But there's still other guys, right? So he definitely fits that bill. So does Josh Reynolds, Tyler Boyd as well. Who else? No resurgence for Allen Robinson. I don't see that happening. There should be a couple other guys here. Noah Brown is another guy to look at. Speaking of Washington. I
think he got dinged up, but that's a whole conversation. I think
maybe you might be right. Maybe that's why Mac Hollins really took over after the fact. Tim Patrick out of Detroit.
We can come back to these guys. Let's prioritize looking at everything first, and then come back and make some signings.
Okay.
It's not that impressive down that list.
It's not. And my simple point is at the bottom of the list, there's just guys that you can get who fit the bill at a pretty decent price tag. So like I said, there's that Noah Fant that's out there. Gerald Everett's been cut. We did retain Cole Kmet. I'm not so sure if we really do need another tight end, but I wouldn't be mad if we got one. Foster Moreau's decent. Juwan Johnson's really good. Actually, that would be my target here. Hayden Hurst, Mercedes Lewis, we just cut as well. So those are sort of the top names in the tight end game.
Let's keep rolling.
All right. So we're rolling right on to the trenches, which is really where we should be. So top few guys, and we might as well sign one. Like we got to sign one of these guys. Cam Robinson, he's a tippy top. Mekhi Becton following closely behind. Alaric Jackson, Ronnie Stanley, Patrick McCarry, and I wouldn't even want to go any further down this list to have conversations about them.
Okay, let's go to guard.
All right, over on to guard. Tippy top, we're talking about Brandon Scherff, Kevin Zeitler, Nate Herbig, Will Hernandez, and then we get to former Bear Cody Whitehair. So these top four guys would be of interest. And to be honest with you, not all that interesting. But even then, I would probably look at it.
We'll come back. Centers,
we're starting with Coleman Shelton, who we just cut. Nick Gates, Wes Schweitzer, Brendan James, Cameron Tom, Corey Levin. There's Liam Eichberg.
In other words, the really good centers are on somebody's goddamn team.
They're not letting them go, right? Like you got it. No, we're stupid enough to let ours go, and we might just have to re-sign. Interior defensive lineman, BJ Hill, Javon Kinlaw. Roy Robb's out there, but Roy Robb is looking for big money. I'm just saying. He's been playing very good football since he left the Chicago Bears. Raekwon Davis is another pretty solid guy. John Kaminsky, Kalen Saunders.
Hey, hold on. Pause for a second, kid.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you guys do me a favor. Look at the interior defensive line list. Look at the interior incoming. Just Google pending free agent defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman, and find out who's got some Dennis Allen connection. Because there's a few of them on there. I ain't gonna say nothing like Kalen Saunders is the one right here on the screen that I can see. But I'm just letting y'all guys know there's some guys out there. I'm not saying he's gonna go sign Kalen Saunders, but there's some guys you might want to point to and say, all right, he might want to go after that guy. You know what I mean? So just want to put that out there.
So what might be the most creative handle I've ever seen? I got to put this up. Got to be put up, though. Is that a picture of him? Did you superimpose a picture of Ben Johnson over Osama bin Laden? If you did, yo, I have to straight up give you some applause.
I shouldn't even put this shit up there, but you ridiculous motherfucker for doing it.
That is classic. I gotta give that mad love. That's brilliant. Well played, sir. Good, well done. Anyhow, so Osama bin Johnson. That's good stuff.
So I need y'all to check out who's got connection to Dennis Allen defense. We know Kalen Saunders is out there.
Joseph, there's some guys in the IL in the interior that we could look at, whether it's big money or low money. I think we can do some damage in the interior, and we need some help there.
What up, Slick?
We're gonna move. Hey, Slick. We'll move over to the edge. Hassan Reddick is out there. The homie Chase Young, who's definitely a target of ours. Matthew Judon was a former target, and he just didn't have a good year this year, from what I understand. Khalil Mack, former Chicago Bear, if he's willing to do a little cheapy deal, I'm interested. Preston Smith's out there. These are, some of these guys are getting old. Charles Omenihu, not getting old, but again, didn't have a great season.
There's two guys on here I can tell you right off the top that's going to be attracted to Ben Johnson, and that is Chase Young and Preston Smith.
Fair enough. So my first target on this list here is going to be Chase Young. I'll be honest with you, and I think we can get him for about $10 million a year, if not less than that. We can get him for. We should be able. Chase Young.
Yeah, we'll circle back, but have we done? We got to go to linebacker.
Mm-hmm. So linebacker.
Zach Bond, circle that name.
Well,
I know you don't want to, but
I'm not. We're already spending $17 million plus at the linebacker position, and you kept your other homies. So I don't want to hear about no more linebacker stuff. I don't want to hear it. I don't think I can hear it.
I'm just telling you, bro. I'm just telling you. I'm looking at fits. I ain't thinking about nothing else but that.
All right. So fair Zach Braun, Levante David, Jerome Baker, Nick Bolton, Shaq Thompson's out there, Robert Spillane, Elandon Roberts.
We'll circle back. Let's go.
Denzel Perriman. I don't really see anybody who jumps out. Corner, like we just don't need any support at the corner.
Well,
not this cycle.
I'll tell you. Let's scroll back up to the top. Let's keep scrolling.
This is the top. You want me to scroll down?
Yeah, down. I'm looking. Dante Jackson.
Shaquille Griffin.
Dante Jackson, bro. And Jordan Lewis. Go back up. Jordan Lewis. You see Jordan Lewis down there?
Mm-hmm.
You got to look at the connections. We just signed Al Harris that made Jordan Lewis valuable out here. So for the record, okay. Say that they decided to let go of Josh Blackwell or something like that. No, this is going to be a guy we ain't talking about this right now, but later on down the line, they bring these guys in, these coaches, and have mentored and coached up these guys. And eventually, when it comes to signing these guys, they're going to give some of these coaches, especially a guy like Al Harris who's got teeth in the game like this, some options and say, hey, you know what? Who do you think about bringing in here? If you think Jordan Lewis can come in here and you like him better than you like, let's say, Josh Blackwell on tape or whoever, it's going to be situations like that. So it's something that we have to consider. And I know people don't want to hear about none of that shit because we got the guys that we like. And that was under Flus's defense.
Well, I'm just saying, we already got 6 cornerbacks on the team. I just can't, I'm right there at the same thing with the linebacker position. But
what else we got? Safety up there?
Safety comes next, sir. Justin Reed, Marcus Williams, Justin Simmons, Marcus Epps, Jeremy Chin.
How old is Marcus Williams?
I don't know, and it won't tell me, but I can find out. Bear with me.
He is definitely a Dennis Allen guy.
Here we go. 28.
Definitely a Dennis Allen guy.
Okay.
Definitely a Dennis Allen guy, and it's probably reaching his prime right about now.
Okay, that might be a good look. It might cost us a bit. We ain't looking at a long snapper. We kept him. Fullback. Any interest in fullback? Patrick Ricard, Adam Prentice, Jacob Johnson, Kerry
Patrick Ricard on the free agent market. How old is that guy? Thank you for that, Osama. Hit the like button for me, y'all. Hit the like button for us, not me. Hit the like button for us. And if you're out there and you're listening and watching the show and you want to comment, all you gotta do is pop that subscribe button and jump on into the show and chat up with us. So all you gotta do, hit the chat, hit the subscribe button, and come on in and chat. You probably see something we're doing or not doing, and you're pissed off about it. Come in here and slap us the fuck around. Hit the subscribe button and come on in here and chat.
So Patrick Ricard is pushing 30.
That's not old.
He's 30 years old at the fullback position. I don't know.
That's not old.
All right. Eddie P in the place to be. These kickers don't look like anything really.
We don't got to spend no time on that. Let's get to it.
All right.
Where
do you want to
start? Look, I think you prioritize. I think easily you go and get the tackle that you're looking for, the veteran tackle you're looking for. You know you're gonna draft that. You get the offensive coordinator the head coach what he wants first, and that is somebody on the offensive line. He's going to look at them Ravens, and it's going to be Ronnie Stanley or Patrick McCarry, and I think you're going to get Ronnie Stanley. And then the next thing you go and do is you give the defensive coordinator what he wants, and you go get Chase Young, and then you go back to the offense and go get the guard, and that's probably Patrick McCarry. That's what I think you should do.
Play Patrick McCarry at guard as opposed to Kevin Zeitler, as a for instance.
You can go get Zeitler. I'll take that. Right. But does Zeitler want to continue to play? He's 34 years old, 35 or something like that.
Very good, very important things to look at. All right, cool. So let's offer this guy some money, and this is Ronnie Stanley. Let's make a 3-year deal. We're going to offer 50% guaranteed and this is a low deal. He ain't going to take it, but I'm going to try it. He rejected it. We're probably pushing $8 million here with a Ronnie Stanley, and that's fine. We want to make sure this position is set up for success. So we'll try it again. Boom. He took the 8. That's one of the biggest contracts in the building, and it shores up that tackle spot. So that's what we want. And you want to go right again with his homie, Patrick McCarry.
No, first I said I'd sign Ron Stanley, then go get Chase Young, then go back to Patrick McCarry. In that order.
So we're going to try Chase Young at the same numbers. 3-year deal, 50%, $8 million. Nope. Yeah, I knew it'd be about 10.
At least 10.
It's going to be about 10 for him. Okay. Yeah. All right. There we go. Less up front. He got more money. It's fine by me. So we got ourselves an edge rusher, bud. That's awesome. So now we're going to move back over to
true up that O-line.
So we're going to play McCarry at guard.
You know what? Let's not try to get McCarry. Let's see what it costs to get us Mekhi Becton.
He's going to be looking at 10 as well, but let's try.
I think he's worth it. 110%.
Well, let's try 7.
You got to get 10. I guarantee you that.
Yeah,
I think you should.
I don't want to do that.
The dude is only 25, 26 years old. If that, he might be 24.
All right. Let's meet in the middle at 9.
You
Give
gonna
him
reject that?
a little bit more up front, and he took it.
He took. Ooh.
All right.
We rolling like a motherfucker now.
All right. That worked. That worked very well. So we still need ourselves a center. Let's offer this guy's. Let's give him 4.
What about who you just offer?
We still need a center.
Who'd you offer?
I haven't offered anything.
Who are you looking at?
I'm looking at Coleman Shelton. He's the top guy as far as centers are concerned.
Okay, just know we're gonna draft a guy. So grab
We
Coleman.
definitely are. So let's just give Coleman 4 for 3 years. He took it. Beautiful. I could have probably got it lower. All right.
How much money are we looking at?
We got about $30 million left over.
Now you want to so we got a tackle, a guard, a center, an edge rusher. Now you want to go back and see what you left on the market as far as you probably want to go get another D tackle.
That's where I'm at. Interior defensive line. Darn straight, that's what we need to do. And like Roy Robertson Harris, y'all?
So Roy Robin Harrison's got this position versatility. I think he can give you some edge work. I go for him.
Not a bad look. Not a bad look. I wonder
what's he trying to get though? What's his market value?
Let's take let me take a look. There we go. So first thing to note, he's 31.
I think he's got 3-4 years solid in him.
You're probably right. I won't give him that long a contract. He's probably
look what's his size and length. So you know that he's got a type, Dennis Allen. And Roy Robinson Harrison is right there up his alley.
Why it's not giving me his size measurables? Yeah, I'm not getting his measurables for some reason.
I'll look it up right now. I'll tell you right now. He's probably in the he's probably like 6'5", 6'7", somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 and 315 pounds.
Why are we driving you crazy, Illy? No love for Roy Rob. I thought Roy Rob was awesome on our line when he was here, and actually wound up playing himself up into up into free agency, left the team and played very well where he wound up. And I think he wound up in Jacksonville and then wound up out of Jacksonville and on Seattle. So
let me tell you guys something. Roy Robinson Jr. is 6'5", 290 pounds. He's absolutely perfect. When I say perfect for Dennis Allen's scheme. And so I don't care who thinks about what, as far as he goes, he fits this scheme perfectly.
All right. I thought so too.
I'm telling you, he fits perfectly. It ain't about what the fuck I like or anybody else likes. Who fits the scheme?
So I hear what Illy's saying. Illy's saying we wound up paying. We did. It's true though. We wound up paying Coleman Shelton a hell of a lot more than we would have got him for if we re-signed him. So we probably should have re-signed him in the first place. But hey, it is what it is. So let's offer this. So he's basically looking at a $6 million contract.
He's going to get edge rush reps out of him and good edge rush reps out of him and interior defensive tackle reps out of him. That's exactly what Dennis Allen is looking for.
So he's like a backup. Like he's kind of the same kind of thing as DeMarcus Walker, right?
Yep.
Like very
Cam Jordan.
Yeah.
What up, Rondo? What up, Junior?
I'm gonna offer him $4 million, and we'll do it for 3 years with a 40% Rejected it. All right, we'll give you a little bit more, Roy.
You got to give him 4.2.
We'll go 4.5, not 45.
Go 4.2. Let's see what he do.
4.2.
Yeah.
A little bit more up front. No, I don't like it.
All right, might have been it.
All right.
Might have to go all the way to 5 just for the record.
That's where I'm going. We're gonna give him 5. I'm not gonna give him the up front. Oh, we don't like that.
Ooh, he know he bad. He know he bad.
He does.
You got to give him 5.5. Are you offering him any kind of guarantees, or did it give you that option?
So I offered him a 50% guarantee at 4.2.
That's probably where you get this shit wrong.
I may give him a 50% guarantee. 5.5. All right, this is the last time we fuck with you. Okay, Roy, there you go. You got your money. You're paid.
I think that's a great signing.
Okay. That's real good, to be honest with you, at the end of the day.
There might be a safety out there. I think we might need to go grab Patrick Williams. Let's look at his.
Who, Marcus Williams?
Who is it? Marcus Williams? Yeah, it's Marcus Williams. Can you Google him and see what's going on with him?
So I think I already did. Give me a second.
I know he's still young. He's only 28 years old.
So 28 years old. He's
a Dennis Allen safety. It's a bump and grinder. We're going to draft safety anyway, so just know that ahead of time. We probably need to go circle back and look at a receiver or so. But
I want you to. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. So he's 28 years old. I don't got measurables on him. Is there anyone else here in the safety market that you think because in my opinion, we only need a safety for like 1 or 2 years. So we might be able to get somebody who's a little bit older that can fit the bill, like a Harrison Smith.
It's got to be a tackler, and I think the best tackler in this class, amongst that group, is either Williams, Marcus Williams, or you got to go with Quandre Diggs or somebody like that.
Okay, let's look at. There's Micah Hyde's down there too, but I think Quandre Diggs is younger. All right, let's try Quandre Diggs. 3 mil.
He wants tacklers, guys that can man up and tackle. That's what he wants. I'm not talking about the guys that I prefer or Kedz would prefer. I'm thinking about the scheme and the coach. Period. Quandre Diggs is a great pickup for your backup box safety. We do have Owens, is the same body type, but Quandre Diggs is faster. I think Kedz did sign Shelton.
I did. I had to re-sign him. I did. That don't mean we paid him way more than we should have paid him. We paid him almost double what we could have re-signed him for in the first place. Big mistake. But we need to have a center, and if he's the best center on the available market,
just for the record, no matter who you see us signing, doesn't mean we're not going to turn and draft the same.
And draft one in free or in the draft when we do it, right?
So I know everybody's a GM, but just bear with us, bro.
Yeah, he stuck us pretty hard in free agency. So we're gonna try Quandre at 3 mil for 2 years. See if he likes it. He likes it. So we got ourselves a backup safety, worst come to worst, and or starting because he's pretty good. Let's look now toward
receiver.
I'm going running back first, bro. You want to go receiver first?
Go for it then, Ryan.
All right. So out of these names here, Jordan Mason or Rico Dowdle?
Rico Dowdle ain't gonna be there. Let's realistically think about it. It's gonna be Jordan Mason sign that guy.
Okay, but he's here.
I know, but to get Jordan
All
Mason.
All right. What do you pay a guy? So we're gonna give him $3 million, 50%.
You know what? You know what?
What?
Who was your virtue was Javonte Williams, wasn't it?
I don't think Javonte wound up in this mix though. Let's just scroll down. Like I say, I liked. There's 5 guys I liked. I didn't see Javonte here. Yeah.
Okay. If he's not there, I think Jordan Mason.
So we need a north-south guy, and Jordan Mason is just a power north-south back. So I'm with the Jordan Mason. I know Rico Dowdle will do it too, but I think Jordan Mason is a good look. So let's do that. Let's offer him 3.5. Oops. And we'll give him 3 years. Boom, we took it. No proration. Love that. We're down to 17 million cap space. So there's your all right. Like I'm kind of like, that's great. You know what I mean? That's real good.
We need to look at a receiver.
I was just gonna say let's leave the running back room because I still think we need another running back. We could get that in the draft. And let's look here now at a receiver,
because we let go of Keenan Allen. We know we're gonna draft. Now we'll go back up because we need to find a possession receiver. As much as I want to get another slot receiver,
I think your possession receiver is Rome Odunze, dog. I would just get a slot here.
Okay, let's get a slot, and it's probably going to be either Khalif Raymond. Go back up. I think Mac Hollins is the dude. I think you need to move DJ to the slot and let him operate. He's like slot position for any receiver is like the cream of the crop. That's exactly where you want to be. Like you got the whole field to fuck people up. I think Mac Hollins is the best because you got to think about it in these terms. Yes, you need a guy that does certain things, but you also need a guy that blocks and will commit to it and can command that everybody else commits to blocking and getting this running game off. I'm telling you, I'm looking at the Mac Hollins signing in a completely different way that maybe everybody else is. I'm telling you, I think that's the guy to go get in free agency if you're going to sign a receiver.
So there's the guy that I would be looking at. That I was looking for him the whole time. Tutu Atwell.
I know you want to see that little quick guy. We're gonna draft that cat.
I don't want to draft. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't want to spend any capital in the draft on a wide receiver.
Dude, you're gonna spend some capital on a wide receiver because you're gonna trade back. You're gonna trade back with the 10.
Oh, I'm going to trade back with the 10, but I am not touching a wide receiver in draft.
Dude.
No chance. No.
You have to. You have a particular need. Our slot receiver has some question marks.
And that's why I'm trying to fix it in free agency.
Little ass ain't gonna get it done.
Well, then we can get 2. Well, then this is sort of what I'm trying to say. I want to get a guy like Tutu Atwell, or I'm looking for Hollywood Brown to see if he's in this list. He's not. So no Hollywood Brown. Tutu Atwell. Olamide Zaccheaus is another guy that would fit that bill. Mac Hollins doesn't really fit the bill. He's more like
I'm gonna be quiet and let you operate here.
All right, perfect. I think I can get Tutu for peanuts. I think I can get the other guy for peanuts too. So we're gonna offer him $2 million, 2 years.
How much you got left for your draft picks?
I got 17 and look at that. Boom, he took it. I got 17. Sorry, I got 15 now. I just spent $2 million on Tutu. I think I think Olamide Zaccheaus is another guy, but I would rather have a Noah Brown. Olamide Zaccheaus would fit the bill. Noah Brown or
You're gonna have to drive.
Or your guy, Mac. I'm just trying not to blow the wad here. Yeah. Let's try low wallet share on Mac. Let's try 2 as well.
He'll take 2.
You think so?
Easy.
Man, he did. Okay.
I think you just did very well, and I think now you just basically finished up. Now you go to the draft.
Well, hold on. I still got more money to spend, Doc, because we can go right over here and get ourselves a little bit of Noah Fant love. What do you think?
You want to get another tight end? Do it.
We let go of Gerald Everett.
Yeah, we need to get somebody.
Let go of this is going to cost us a little bit more, but I'll give him 5 because that's what Gerald Everett was making. Oh, he dissed it. All right. I'm going to give you just a little bit more than that. Let's see if you take it. 5, and a little bit more up front, 40%. He took it. Yo, this team is crazy, y'all. This team is crazy. What am I missing? Like, I can go back over here. What do I got left? I got $8 million left. I can probably get 2 more players. And I think
save yourself some money because when you draft, you never know. You know, any good GM would try to save himself, have like $10 million in the kitty if they can.
Well, I got about that. So plus all my draft money is already cordoned off, and that's why I explained in the beginning. There's still $12 million for my draft players. I'm good to go. This 8 might go to
kitty. Keep it in the kitty.
Keep it in the kitty. You sure nothing else you want to look at here? All right.
You don't want to do nothing else. You got training camp that's going to happen. You know, there's going to be some shit that might happen last minute. Somebody gets hurt. You need to have 10 minutes to get some. Could be an impact player that you got missing. And if you got 10 million, you got a chance to get them.
I do, but I'm gonna try and do this too. No.
You trying to spend that money? Don't spend it, kid. Let's keep going.
All right, we're good. All right,
that's the karma getting your ass. You don't need to spend that money. Let's draft.
All right. So here's who we picked up in free agency. Starting with edge rusher Chase Young at $10 million, Jordan Mason at running back 3.5, Mac Hollins $2 million from Mac, Mekhi Becton offensive tackle $9 million from Mekhi, Noah Fant tight end $5.5 million, Quandre Diggs $3 million, Ronnie Stanley again offensive tackle. We will move one of these 2 guys inside to handle the open. And there isn't even an open guard position because we were able to keep both Ryan Bates and Tevin Jenkins. Roy Robertson,
Murray too.
Say what?
I think we kept Bill Murray.
We did also, well, for depth, we definitely kept Bill Murray on a low wallet share deal. So this offensive line's looking pretty decent. Roy Robertson Harris jumped on to our defense at 5'5", Tutu Atwell at wide receiver, $2 million. And did I miss Mac? No, there's Mac Hollins. There's one person I don't see in this list, and that is the center. I don't know why I don't see the center, but whatever. Look pretty good to me.
Hey, you know what? See, here's the beautiful thing. Scrolls FFG is Crimson, and everybody else, Minister Charles and everybody else that doesn't agree with the way we're doing it. You can have your opportunity. Come on the show and let you do it. Come on, do it. Come on and do it. Because everybody's virtues and the way we all see these players and their values ain't going to ever be the same. You know, so you might see Roy Robinson Harris as a world beater. I might see him as a guy that's definitely worth keeping. I mean, getting on the roster if you can get him for a certain amount of money. I mean, it's just all kinds of ways we see this stuff. It's not that somebody is good at this or bad at this. It's just an exercise to have fun with it. Really, it's all it is. And, don't get so serious about it. That's all I would say.
All right.
We love you guys, man.
I'm with it. It is, like I said, it is what it is. It's just an exercise. I've been through this a couple of different times here. And by all means, do it yourself, mess around, and enjoy. It's kind of tricky as you go, because one of the cool things is it's random, right? So I don't know who's going to show up by way of free agency this time around versus next time, right? I don't know. I'm not sure if Chase Young's going to be there. I'm not sure if Trey Smith's going to be there. For the most part, when I've been doing this, Trey Smith is gone. Looks like Kansas City re-signs him every single time, but it's different. Players are generally different. Is what it is, but pretty solid. I think we wound up with a really decent team, and now we're gonna go. We're about to head into the actual draft. So, boom.
I'm Nomad Balky.
You're Balky, and I'm Kedz McCaskey. Kedz McCaskey, look at that. So I'm gonna download this just so we have record later on. But this is what the team rounds out to look like, and I think it's pretty decent. Caleb Williams, your starting quarterback. Tyson Bagent as well at quarterback. Running back room looks like DeAndre Swift, Jordan Mason, Roshan Johnson, and Travis Homer. Wide receiver room, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Mac Hollins, Tutu Atwell, DeAndre Carter, Tyler Scott. Tight end room, Cole Kmet, Noah Fant. Offensive tackle, Mekhi Becton, Ronnie Stanley, Darnell Wright, Braxton Jones, Karan Amagaji. Guard, Tevin Jenkins, Ryan Bates, Matt Pryor, Bill Murray, Coleman Shelton at center, Ricky Stromberg at center, DeMarcus Walker, interior defensive lineman, alongside Roy Robertson-Harris, alongside Andrew Billings, Javon Dexter, Zach Pickens, Chris Williams, and Jonathan Ford. Like, we've got the whole world in the interior now. To be honest, it was a big gaping hole last time. It looks pretty solid at this point, right?
One question, Kedz.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at what we have on the roster now, honest opinion, and be spiffy about your comments.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to reach for anything here? I'm talking when we start drafting.
No.
We don't have to reach for anything. We set ourselves up so that when the draft board hits us and you see where you are at 10 and you see exactly what's on the board, do you have a specific need to where you need to reach and make sure you get this player? Or can you just look at and see who's the best player on the board and where's our needs? You know what I mean? That's the idea. You set it up that way. So what you make sure you buffered up the positions that you felt like you had a need. And so that when you came into the draft, you don't have to be this needy motherfucker that has to get this pick or you're going to end up doing something stupid.
That's exactly the way that this thing worked out. So we have, we have our new left tackle who's going to hold it down. We have the entire line has been retrofitted. I think at this point, the weakest.
Braxton is now your swing.
Yeah, the starter is now the swing. The weakest position on that line is probably the center. So we'll look at drafting the top center in the draft. To me, that's key. Edge rusher. Major issues. We got ourselves Chase Young, former partner to the other guy on the other side. I think that should help out. And then we retrofitted the interior, right? So just went through those interior guys. Montez Sweat, Chase Young at the edge. We've got Jacob Martin and Austin Booker as depth at that position. I think that's really good. Linebacker situation, we retained Tremaine. TJ's still there. Jack Sanborn's still there. He's been resigned. Noah Sewell is the next linebacker in the mix. The remaining linebackers were let go. Jalen Johnson's out there as your starting top cornerback. Kyler Gordon, Tariq Stevenson, Jalen Jones is also back. Josh Blackwell is also back for special teams value. Terrell Smith is there. Again, he's awesome. No chance I was letting him go. Kevin Byard is stepping up as your safety. Jaquan Brisker as well. Hopefully everything's okay with him, but just in case, we also signed a Quandre Diggs at around the same money that Jaquan is making right now. Jonathan Owens is also still on the team at safety. We still kept Elijah Hicks, which we probably could have got around. But again, at these numbers, you want to keep these guys. Scott Daly's your long snapper. Cairo Santos is your kicker. And Torrey Taylor is your punter.
I think we kicking ass.
I think this worked out really well. We need an edge and a guard. And in the draft, we're going to be looking at all of those. Man, we've not fired my ass, bro. You know what? I think we did really well with this situation. I think the line is basically fixed now. It just needs to be coached up. We've got our linchpin on the left. Linchpin on the right has been drafted. Now we go into the draft looking for that developmental / starter at that tackle position, at the guard position, at the center position, and at the edge. But because we've got starters, we can probably move a little bit differently and look at that safety position, maybe the wide receiver position you've been talking about, which I don't want to do, but definitely the running back position as well.
All right, we let's roll into the draft, man, because I see what I know. I think I know where we need to get stronger. Let's get into it.
And away we go. Entering the 2025 draft.
Who just got picked up?
I'm going to go through it before we even look at these trades. So, Shedeur goes first to Tennessee. Cam Ward to the Cleveland Browns. New York Giants pick up Mason Graham. Super solid pick for them. Abdul Carter comes up right next, going to the New England Patriots. Travis Hunter goes to Jacksonville. The Raiders pick up Ted McMillan. Michael Williams goes to the New York Jets. Nick Swarton goes to the Panthers. And the Saints grab James Pierce Jr., edge rusher, Tennessee.
So here's my question. Before we make a decision here, do you think Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen comes together and says, no, we get it. We got to get a blue chip piece is more important than a whole bunch of draft picks? Or do they say, get some extra draft picks? We covered a lot in free agency and we can use a few extra draft picks. What do you think they do? You think they take this pick here? Or do you think they trade back?
I think they take Genty, and Sproles is saying it right now. I'm not saying that's the right move. I'm also going to articulate taking a running back this high is just crazy talk. But I still think they take Genty here. If Genty has fallen out of the top, if he's fallen this far to them and they're hurting for running back and they know he's a game-changing back, I kind of expected him to be gone under normal. I've run these mocks so many times.
I've run a few of them, but
you know what I mean?
I'm not gonna struggle with you. I'm gonna let you be Ryan Poles here. And take in consideration from your guys who I'm multiple guys right now. And I'm saying that you don't have to reach for Ashton Genty. He's a guy, but he's not the only guy.
I agree.
You can trade back and get a guy that you're gonna be damn fucking happy with later on.
So what's also pretty cool is when I click on the trade offer, I bet you the trade offers are probably pretty crazy because Ashton Genty is there. So there's that factor too. So is Will Campbell, right? And that's really that's the target really for the Bears. Really,
realistically, they probably make the Will Campbell
selection, right? So it's either Will Campbell or Ashton Genty, and this is really what I was saying. Most of the time, I do these mocks. Both of these guys are gone. I'm just saying they're both gone. And it makes trading back a bit easier. But let's look at what the
trades, man, because we moving up on the Witcher now for me and my girlfriend here.
29, 61, 79.
That's
second
crazy.
And fifth.
You probably got to take that, man. Probably got to take that. I know that for sure. Or one of these. This is a good one too.
This isn't terrible either.
That's a good one.
All of these are further back than I really want to go. And that's the problem with it.
That's probably it. That's probably the best pick you got on the board.
I'm not sure if I can leave this here. So let me throw this out to the world out there. Have y'all looked at Scatterball? Yo, there's like the top 7 backs in this draft are really good I might even push that down to the top 10, right? Different thing. They do different things, but they're all really good for different reasons. Ashton Genty's just one body. So the upside is if I get a couple extra picks, we can likely get maybe one or even two of those guys, right?
You got Devin Neal out there. You got the running back from Tennessee out there. There's so many good running backs out
Hampton,
there.
Judkins, Trevion. There's a Scatterbo. There's a bunch of them, and there's also Caleb Johnson. There's a bunch of them, y'all. If you pass on Genty and he dominates the league elsewhere,
I'm signing my name to make this trade. That's you do what you want to do, but that's where my head is at. Do what you're gonna do.
The top 10 are all starters, Minister Johnson says. Man. What do y'all think, man? I see the scrolls. It's basically saying do the Genty thing, and I'm considering it.
Don't help him out, chat. Let his nuts hang. He wanted to be close today.
Wow.
Let your nuts hang.
All right. If that is the case, Genty isn't normal. If that's the case, I think I'm going to take Genty, bro.
Okay.
I know this is crazy. Like, I don't want to do this.
I'm let you cook. You finna cook.
I'm going against every possible logical leaning. I really have to watch this kid play. I have to watch some tape on this kid before I do stuff like this.
One of these days, I'm gonna be Poles, and I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna let him cook today.
Man, y'all gonna roast me for weeks. Fuck it, I'm trading.
That's exactly what you should do.
I've got to trade. I'm sorry, Scroll. I had to do it, bro. I had to do it, man. Jacksonville will hire you.
I'm just giving that man nothing but fucking runway to do. Be Ryan Poe.
That's really funny, though.
Taking consideration of his guys in the building, inside the room.
Jacksonville will hire you, he says. That's funny. No. Kansas City, that's so raw, bro. All right. So I never really been in this particular position before. Any words on Colston Loveland?
Great.
Yeah?
Absolutely great. He's one of them. You looking for the next Travis Kelce, he's going to be in that conversation. You're going to either take this trade or draft Ashton Genty and be like the meathead, one of the two. You're going to do one.
I already took the trade. I'm at pick 29. I didn't do it.
So right now we're looking at, okay, let's look at the position groups. Let's just start at the top. You don't have to look at quarterback. You can look at running back. You can look at wide receiver. You can look at tight end. Everything there but quarterback. And so start with the running backs. You're not getting a running back this early after you trade back, right? But you can look at them. Omarion Hampton, you got Caleb Johnson.
All these guys, like I'm saying, right up to Bashal Tootin. I think I'm good to get a running back a little bit later on. I'm at pick 29 right now.
I think here's what I think, Kedz. I think you catered to mostly your offensive coordinator, who is your head coach, and make sure you beefed up the offensive line a little bit, right? You got that beefed up quite a bit, and you gave your defensive coordinator a pick or two, But here's what you want to look at. You want to look at your edge right here, and you want to look at your D tackle.
So this is probably the guy I would be leaning towards right off the bat, which would be Walter.
That's an edge or a D tackle, right?
That's a D tackle. He's a D tackle.
It's an edge.
So
look at here. This is where your value is right now.
Yeah, I can get any. My target here is going to be Landon Jackson. I've got my next pick is 39 7 picks before him.
I think Landon Jackson is a great pick right here.
I'm not going to take him here, but I'll take him with the next pick. He'll be there. And
when's your next pick?
My next pick is 39.
It's okay. So, well, get your D tackle then.
I think I'm going to take the D tackle just because he'll definitely be gone next time around.
I wouldn't.
Oh man, but he's
Walter Nolan is explosive, but you need beef right now.
I know he's more of a Javon Dexter than he is.
You got Javon Dexter. Now you need to look at Kenneth Grant or somebody like that.
Deion Walker's good stuff too.
You got to get that beef, man. You got to get Kenneth Grant or if I don't know that. I would imagine that the big boy from Ohio State, Tyreek Williams, is already gone.
Yep, 2 picks away.
So then your next best get is I'm telling you right now is get Kenneth Grant. That's your best value right now.
All right, let me just do this.
Big boy can move.
I honestly think I'm going to take the tight end instead.
Dog, you don't take no tight end right now, kids. Are you ridiculous?
No, because I know I can get.
Yeah. All right, I ain't gonna say nothing. This is gonna last on the Nomad Network.
Either Harold
the entirety of the network's life. You don't get a fucking tight end right now.
But he's best player available. I'm just saying he's best player available, and I know I can get for DT at 41. Trust me.
You already. Are you kidding me?
The next 2 picks I can get
that damn tight end, man.
I can get. Well, then again, I still need a guard in here somewhere too. So what picks do I have? I've got 29, 39, 41.
Get your damn trenches right and get your D tackle. You can't get a damn tight end right now.
This is where I
love Colston Loveland, kids. Trust me when
where the 2 good tight ends are, right? So if
you're gonna miss on him, you gotta get your trenches right. Get your
Harold. Harold, maybe I can get Harold at 31 too. All right, so let's get the DT. And it's gonna be
right now. You can't be talking about tight end. You fucking with me.
He's the best player available, bro.
Oh no, he ain't the best player available.
Boom. So we're going with Kenneth Grant. What do we got? Pick number 39. They're offering.
That's good. That's good. Take that. You're only sliding down a couple of picks.
3 picks back. I think I'm going to take this.
Definitely take that.
Where we are. Oh, my boy Colton dropped, bro. I'm just messing around. I'm going to take it because they're coming up for one of these guys, and it's probably Colston.
So you're going to be known for the motherfucker that got Colston Loveland and dropped Walter Nolan and all these other cats and Shamar Stewart. Are you kidding? There's so many other good players on this board, dude. Don't you, man, leave that guy alone, bro. The reason why he got to this long.
Don't you worry. So I'm gonna take this trade from the Jets because I already picked an extra 2nd rounder up earlier on and a 5th.
Mr. Johnson, there is a guy.
Who went where? So Emory Jones, Jalen Milroe. Okay, perfect. That actually worked out really well.
Now you go try to see if you can get that guard you're looking for.
All right. So I'm looking at.
And then after that, you go for safety. Then you go for running back or one of the flip them around, whatever you think is best.
Do you think Jonas Savayanea can play guard?
Perfect.
Or Wyatt Millen?
Perfect, Jonah. Perfect. Take him.
All right. So we got back-to-back picks here.
Now go get your running back or your safety. Whichever one you value the most. That's what you do here. Look at your running backs, look at your safeties.
No, I'm not doing that at all. I'm actually gonna
at least take a look, kids. Don't be thick-headed now.
No, I'm gonna get myself some Landon Jackson. I'm gonna get that.
Get Landon Jackson there.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But I'll look at running back.
I'm with that.
I've got pick 61, so hopefully at 61 I can get a Judkins or a Travion Henderson at RB.
They ain't the best running backs. I'm just telling you.
Yo, I thought Travion was real good. I thought Travion was real good.
Compared to some of these other guys, let's see who you got on the board. Look at the running backs. I could tell you exactly who. It's either Caleb Johnson. Go down a little further.
That's it. Everybody else is gone besides maybe.
Keep going down a little bit. Keep going down. Let's see what you got. You got still. Yeah. Devin Neal is probably the better running back out of all of them.
At 185? Well, I can get
185, bro.
I can get him way later. But I'm
looking at how the draft board lies, or you want to talk about the best player?
It has to be both, right? Because if I can get value where I am, I can also grab the guy way later on. You know what I'm saying? Like I should be able to get
a receiver and see what you got
later. I don't want no damn receivers. Savion Williams,
the most explosive player in the draft.
West Repo.
He's the most explosive player in the draft. Period. Other than Jalen Milroe, there's not a more explosive football player in this fucking draft.
All right. Well, we can talk about that at 61, I guess. Is there a viable trade here? 51 and 85.
You probably should look at the safeties right now. Just take a look at them. See what you got. Oh, this is a good list. Real good. Right now, Latham Ransom, you should get him off the board.
He's way back at 82.
Trust me when I tell you, bro.
Well, I'm not doing that. I'll get him later. But if that's in the cards, I might have to take this trade.
Go ahead and take the trade then.
Oh, I got 72 and 79. So I'll get your boy Ransom in and around there. I don't need to take this trade at all. So I got real good capital. So I can take who's up top. And what have we done so far? So we've done Kenneth Grant DT. We've got an offensive tackle. We're gonna go guard here for sure then. I think that's the move.
We just drafted a guard.
No. Oh, we got
Savanea. That's what you want to do with him.
Yeah, we wanted to push him at guard. So we're actually good. And he'll swing if the need be.
Wyatt Millen sucks. Leave that motherfucker on the board.
Okay.
Marcus Bowe is, if you want to get a center, which is something that we need, you either see Jarrett Wilson as your future center, or you slide Marcus Bowe in and turn him into one. Either one I'll be completely good with, but I think center, you got to address that.
Yeah, well, like I say, center is like a third round thing, but I can probably get him the top of the third.
Marcus Bowe.
It's like a fourth round thing, but I'll probably still get him in the third.
Marcus Bowe, bro.
So let's just look at all again. This dude is still here.
All I know is we got to move, man, because the lady of my life.
I'm taking the tight end. Yeah, he yell at me later.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say nothing.
61. Walter Nolan is still there. And there's my boy JT.
Gotta get Jaquan back up, man.
Sorry, I had to take JT there. So there we go. We still got 2 picks.
Get Jaquan back up.
To get your
Did you get the center yet?
No, center's going to be in a couple of picks.
Get Jaquan's back up, a receiver or a center.
So I'm going to do the running back and then the backup. Unless, is he still here? He should still be around. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I got to back off. I'm going to back off.
All right. So I personally wanted Travion, but Travion I think is gone. Yeah, Travion Henderson is gone. So we're going to get Judkins at 79. We're going to get, wow, Harold Fanning Jr. dropped so far.
I don't know why you like Judkins, but that's a whole other thing.
Judkins all right. There's like we're getting lower in, like he's the top running back available at this point. Like there's a serious drop off from here. Just sort of look. We don't talk about a running back until we get back to Cam Scatterbo, which I would not be mad at. So here I'm gonna take your guy Latham Ransom. There's your backup safety. So the question now is, do I go? Is there anything available for me here? No. All right. Cool. So I'm gonna grab, man. Do I have anything here? No, I don't. All right. So center it is. Jared Wilson. And we got a little bit of time. There goes Cam Scatterbo.
Where's your receivers at?
Unfortunately, I could have got your guy Savion, but I had to do the offensive center. Had to get the center at that point. So we've got Nick Nash, Jalen Noel, Kobe Hudson. Anybody jump out to you? Ja'Cory Brooks.
Keep scrolling.
Jalen Lane.
You're scraping.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll back up to the top. For your value, it's either probably Pat Bryant or Jalen Noel. I like Pat Bryant because he's an Illinois boy and he's just fucking dependable. Slick likes Jalen Noel. There's so many good linebackers here. So damn many. But I think you still need to address receiver. I think you still need another running back.
I wouldn't balk at Bashal Tootin here.
I think Brashard Smith.
Is he still around? Yeah, he is. He's actually right here.
That's where you draft, bro. That's valuable, right?
So Brashard Smith over Bashal Tootin?
Yes. You already got Thunder, didn't you?
5'9" Thunder? Crazy.
Have you gotten a running back yet?
I got Judkins, and that's Thunder, man. So
then I'll get you Lightning, Brashard Smith.
All right.
That's what the offensive man wants. Thunder and Lightning. Now this is anybody's guess. Now, if you was going to get a tight end, this is where I'd be down there trying to get one.
Wow, now we're scraping. We're in the 200s. We're getting dealing with them 6th-round picks now. So
you got to know what you're getting. What are you looking for? Are you looking for a blocker or are you looking for a receiver?
I might get myself some Jaw Joyner, to be honest.
We got a couple.
Ian Sproles is Sproles. I'd love to have you on. We'll just do it again on another night for sure, man. It'd be awesome. But tonight we're just trying to run her through, bro. We're pushing. We're getting a little bit late.
Mr. Charles is pissed. He said you had to eat peanuts out my shit before you draft my team.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Minister Charles, but at the end of the day, to be honest, I'm not that worried about how this is about to shake out, man. Especially considering what we did in free agency, it's still gonna look pretty good.
What's the go to all and see the best players on the board? great. Seth McLaughlin, you can get a backup center. You can have.
I already got I got the top center in the game in the draft.
There's Ty Hamilton's a good player. JJ Kedz, you can't go wrong with him. I mean, no way you can go wrong with him. Baron Sorrell, you can't go wrong with him. Why he's still here is ridiculous.
Well, I plan to get either him or Ja Joyner with pick 235. Just for a little bit of additional edge rusher love.
Go get your guy, man. Go get Ja Joyner if you want him.
Like I'm saying, I want that at the next pick. And you know what? All right, I'll take Ja Joyner right now. It's such a reach, though.
You're gonna make sure we stacked up on edge rushers and defensive tackle. The D tackle, I think.
That's what I was going to do.
Spot you need to look at.
That's really what I was going to do.
It would have been either one of them. He's an edge rusher and a D tackle.
Ty Hamilton?
No, JJ Kedz. Keep going down a little bit right there.
How big is he? 6'2", a little short.
He's everything, bro.
I think I'm going to take him.
I guarantee you watch JJ Kedz, you'll be like, holy shit, no, man. Why you didn't tell me about that motherfucker being 4?
All right, let's go with JJ. Oh, there go Ja Joyner. Ja Joyner just went, I thought. Oh, no, it's Zah Frazier who went. Oh, Ja Joyner did go.
Okay, what do you think before you make this pick? I think we need a special teams guy, somebody that can return. And look at your receivers or your running backs, one of the two. I think Wester from Colorado is absolutely fits the bill. Absolutely fits the bill. Let's look at the rest of your running backs. Let me see. Damn, Damian Martinez is fucking tempting. Jaden Blue fits that bill too.
Jaden Blue?
Yes, he does. And so it's about would you feel comfortable with a receiver returning? I love Wester from Colorado. That dude is explosive.
Because I haven't touched the wide receiver position, let's just call it a day with Wester. And we still got one more pick.
Dante Thornton is still there. That's ridiculous. In Tennessee.
Any of these linebackers of interest?
All of them.
All of them. Word?
The best one I see on there that you can get is Sonny Styles.
Done. You even got yourself a linebacker. Would you believe that? So look at what we got. And this is not terrible. So we got ourselves Kenneth Grant at defensive tackle. That's our first pick at 29. Jonas Savainea. God, I got to learn how to pronounce this. That is our swing tackle / guard. We've got ourselves a tight end, Colston Loveland, edge rusher, JT Tuimoloau. What he said? Quinshawn Judkins at running back. There's your Thunder. We've got a backup for Jaquan Brisker to grow. In the 3rd round, that's Lathan Ransom. Jared Wilson is our offensive center, which we desperately need, backing up Coleman Shelton, who we paid too much money. Rashard Smith at running back. He is your Lightning. JJ Kedz. Big JJ. So JJ is going to basically back up Javon Dexter. LeJohntay Wester, that's our return guy. And Sonny Styles.
And your slot guy.
And our slot guy, potentially. Again, Sonny Styles is at 242, our final pick at the linebacker position. So we basically hit everything we needed to hit. Also scraped up a 2nd rounder from Washington and a 5th rounder from Washington. Not so bad.
Kedz, if I were you, I would go after the show, screenshot what you did in free agency, because looking at this on its face, it's a great draft. I think it's a great draft. I think you didn't miss here. I think Quinshon Judkins is the only questionable pick you made here. And just because I seen on tape everything I seen on tape, and I'm telling you, he's not as good as you think he is. He's a good running back, but not like number 72 pick good running back. I'm just gonna say that. But everything else is absolutely this is a home run draft. This is a home run draft. So I would suggest that you screenshot both this that you're seeing on the screen right now and what you did in free agency, so that it always has context, and give it to me, send it to me in an email, and I'll put it all together.
All right, I already downloaded it, so I got both of them ready to rock and roll. Full results. The Scrolls is asking me big things. He wants to know when Genty went.
Make sure you send it to me so I can put it together for you.
Okay, I'll send them both. Where did Genty wind up going? Holy smokes! So we traded out. Genty went at 18 to the Seattle Seahawks.
Told you he was early, man.
That's crazy.
Told you.
I'm surprised. He's usually gone in the top 10 though. And you can say that truly. Who else were you asking about, Scrolls? Zabel. Gray Zabel? Gray Zabel's gonna be maybe second or third rounder.
Wait till Mr. Charles is right. Wait till everybody sees what we did on paper with the free agent market, and then drafted. What do we end up with? 12, 13 picks?
Altogether?
Yeah.
So Gray Zabel is at pick 72 going to the Panthers. Our draft, we ended up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 picks, and two from Washington for next year.
Okay, so about 13. You just ended up drafting only 11 of them.
Yeah.
And so I think this is like if Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen were in the same room and watched this exercise, watched this podcast, and had the time to do it, and just like they're both having all three of them are having wet dreams at the same time, at the same hour, the same minute, the same second tonight. Because you can't fucking beat this. You can't. This is everything that we need, and a whole bunch of ice cream and cake on top of it.
Yep, there's a lot of ice cream and cake, and that's what really makes it interesting at the end of the day. All of these, all of the holes that we needed were plugged in free agency, and that's the beauty of it. Then we got to double down and get depth and developmental talent that could potentially start. So, I mean, top center in the draft, yeah, he could probably start over a Coleman Shelton, and that's an upgrade. But we'll have to develop him, test him out through anyways, test him out, see how he does, and if he's a little bit better than the competition, he starts. And that also goes for a guy like JT. He's going to test against Austin Booker and the rest of these guys at the edge. And if he doesn't start, he's going to learn from a Chase Young. He's going to learn from a Montez Sweat. And both him and Austin Booker are going to grow into that role. Quinshon, we'll see. He's going to battle out with Roschon. I bet you he beats him, right? But we also got Thunder and Lightning in free agency too. So yeah, and then we shored up the tackle position, and then doubled down with a guy like Jonah here. Jonah is going to be able to swing and play both that and guard. If we need him to start at guard, he can. But the guards that we were able to keep, Tevin Jenkins, Ryan Bates, Bill Murray. We also had Matt Pryor on the team. We also have, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some awesome depth here that wound up working out really well. I'm kind of surprised. And most importantly, the sieve that was the defensive line is now fixed. The only question is, can we get to the quarterback? I think we might be able to.
So let me give a quick shout out to my man FFG, who wanted to come on the show, but I knew it would. One more person on here we'd probably still be probably in free agency right now, just arguing, going back and forth. And I knew that, and it ain't got nothing to do with FFG and his personality. I just knew it would just take two people would be a lot. We just got it done in 3.5 hours. You know what I mean? So that was just what it was. But he did tell me, he's like, hey man, Nomad, stop being so goddamn impressive on Kedz, man. Let him do his thing. Don't be oppressive. And I did my best to back the fuck off you, dude, and let you do your shit. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, yeah, this could have gone a lot differently if I'd selected Genty. I have to admit we would have been missing out on at least 3 of these players, and I completely overlook on Colston Loveland. We definitely need something to happen at that tight end position. But with Colston, Cole, and Noah Fant, boy, like
by the way, kids, just for the sake of what Scrolls just put up here, I'm gonna read it off. Scrolls says, I'm trading for Hendrickson, signing Trey Smith and Dahlman, drafting Genty, Zabel, and an edge, rolling with Braxton and Kieran at left tackle, and Billings and Javon for next year. If we had the ability to make the trades like we did last year, that's a whole different ballgame. Yeah, everything looks different if we make trades. And so under the circumstances, I think he did the very best he could, and I think it's a fucking home run. Straight up.
I think it worked out pretty well. I have to agree. This is a really cool exercise. I've done it a couple of times on my own. I may send those over to you as well, so you can sort of see what those look like. I get creative with these things. This time around, I don't want to get too creative with the Genty. I thought that might cripple our ability to really backfill just about every position of need.
You almost got thirsty, kid. You almost fucked it up.
I almost did. I straight up. Scrolls, you're pushing me in that direction. I was really thinking about doing it, but I had to back off and think about the holes, man. It's just that's it. Those holes must be filled, and I think they're all filled.
One thing I can tell you for certain, and that's anybody that's been here from the beginning when we started this show and lasted to 3 minutes and 27 seconds left, can tell you through the entirety of the free agent process and making sure that you got your roster built, looking at everything in its entirety, you can't front on this. You can't front on none of it. You might have a pick or two, a draft pick or two here or there, or who we might have or might not have signed in free agency, whether it's but you can't really, when you look at it in totality, you can't front on it. And so I'm tipping my hat out to Kedz. I did my best to stay out of it. I just gave him the advice that I thought I can give him and let him backed off and let him make his decisions, man. And I think it's a fucking home run, dude.
It helped out really well. It worked out really well because, again, there's certain players that you have been scouting over these last few weeks or months that I'm not quite as familiar with, like a Brashard Smith. I'm not as familiar with Brashard. There's other running backs that I'm more interested in. I like Judkins as that Thunder. Again, it could have been somebody else, but he was available at 72. Lathan Ransom, I know that's a guy that you like quite a bit. We've selected him in our previous draft, so I kind of wanted to aim for him as well. My only slight regret was not getting Ja Joyner, but hey, I think we did a fantastic job across the board, man.
My only regret is not getting Landon Jackson.
Oh yeah, you see, I want Landon. I would pick Landon over JT, but we were able to get JT, so I'm happy with it. I'm good as long as we address it with somebody that I believe can provide that pass rush. I'm fine. But yeah, I think Landon Jackson is the better of those. Between him, those second rounders, Landon, Princely, JT. I think he's the top guy there.
I told y'all he was a dog.
I think so too, man. I agree.
Told you. But that, again, let's go and wrap this thing up and let's get out of here while we're in a good place for somebody else coming here and cuss us out and start telling us about ourselves. You sons of bitches, you motherfuckers, you didn't do this, you didn't do that.
Well, yeah, that's bound to happen. But we'll put this out. I'll get the downloads for Nomad so we can take a peek and maybe share them both.
Oh, and, by the way, I keep forgetting this. I don't even know if Petty is watching, but he sent me this a week ago, and I keep every show. Pull this down, kid, so I can put petty stuff on the board. Please.
Boom.
Let's get us back to this window. All right, let me put Petty's mock. And Petty had the nerve to send me his mock draft. And he won it. And I say, Petty, you good with me showing this on the show? He's like, hell yeah, go with it. And so this is Black Diamond, one of the members of the show. And thank you to Black Diamond for being a member of the show and being one of the Super Nomaniacs, man. I love you, bro. And I can't wait till the next time you're back on the show. Let me go and run down his draft pick. Kedz, you can if you want to.
Oh, sure. Pick number 16, we went with Will Campbell. That's a great move. That means he also traded back from 10 to 16. Got a little bit of extra capital. JT, just like me, I picked 41. I picked him a little bit later. There's your edge rusher. Alfred Collins, defensive tackle. So now you really got them trenches shored up, and he went back to the trenches again with Donovan Jackson, offensive guard, Ohio State. Travion Henderson, my guy, been talking about him the whole time, got himself a running back there at pick number 72. Unfortunately, he was gone for me by pick number 72. Moving right down to pick 204, Seth McLaughlin, offensive center, Ohio State. 235, Jimmy Horn Jr., wide receiver, Colorado. 242, Josh Preby, offensive guard, Michigan.
Can't go wrong.
Not a bad little selection, man. Not a bad selection at all.
Can't go wrong. And I will say this, and I know Petty, aka Black Diamond, does his homework. If one of us says on the show, hey man, check this guy out and let me know in the comment section, he's either gonna tell me and he's either gonna let me know what he saw in the comment section, or he's gonna send me an email, which I suggest all of you guys do. If you got any opposition on what we show on the screen, and you got any comments about whatever we're saying or doing on the show, he follows through and says, you know what, man, he'll let me know. Hey, Nomad, you off on this. Kids, you off on that. And this is my thoughts on it. And I ain't got no problem with that. Neither one of us do. Let us know what you think. That's the object of what we do here, is to have the back and forth and the dialogue, man. That's the important part. Just have the dialogue. You ain't got to agree with everything one of us say on this show. That's fine. But just have the dialogue. The exercise is the dialogue. And so I appreciate Black Diamond, a.k.a. Petty Murphy. Man, just for he's the first one to send me one. And so I appreciate it. Y'all want to send me one? We'll put other mock drafts up here, man. So I don't have no problem putting y'all's mock drafts up here. Send them to the email. You want me to put the email up one more time before we close the show? I will do that. Give me 1 second. Send it to us at nomadlivepod2023@gmail.com. And I will take it and do what I do with it, and we'll put it up on the show and talk about it. How about that? So with that being said, let me pass it on to my guy, the Canuck, for some pleasantries. I'm going to leave this up for just a few seconds while you start the pleasantries. I'll pull them down in a minute, kids.
Absolutely. So hopefully I didn't piss you guys off too much. I think we wound up doing the darn thing the right way. But you know that I'm going to do this about 78,000 times between now and the actual draft. So we'll put that out there as well. I thought it worked out really well. Free agency went over swimmingly. We took care of all of the issues on this team. And now it's a question of whether these coaches can actually, coach these guys up, develop these guys, and get the best out of them. So I'm pleased. I thought we did a great job. But giving you guys some love, starting with my guy, the Scrolls. What it do? Shout outs to you as always. Right up next is the Minister Charles Johnson. Thanks for coming through. Super Nomaniac Minister Charles Johnson. And either one of you or all of you guys, holler at us at the email address Nomad just had up. And maybe we'll have you on and we'll run a mock with you next time around. Fluid 2212 Flocka, shout outs to you. FFG, big love to you. Most definitely, we got to run one with FFG real soon. So there's that. Believe me's out there. Thank you for coming through, my brother. Slick Sophistication. Cliff Victoria held it down with us. Osama Ben Johnson with the baddest, craziest handle I've ever seen. B Miners out there. Bear Truth 9. Thanks for coming through, BT9. Always good to have you, my bro. Who else is out there, man? Who else? Oh, Christopher House was in the building with us too. Man, who else? Jason Toy. Illy Jones. Illy Jones was with us all night long. Shout out to you, Illy Jones. Oh, Junior was with us, man. I miss you, Junior. Shout out to you, dog.
Joseph Archer never gets shouted out. I got to make sure I get that in there. Joseph Archer is one of our bottom. He's one of our bottom supporters, man. He's been here from the beginning. Just got to make sure he gets some love, man.
Big shout outs to you, Joseph Archer. Mad love. And mad love goes out to Dobbsy34 too. Big shout outs to you, my bro.
King Booker.
King Booker World. I didn't see King Booker World in the building.
Definitely here.
Okay, I must have missed
another one of our bottom guys, man. Been here since the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. He's a super no maniac. So is Cornelius Squalls. Big love to you, Cornelius. Shout outs to Nick Rembert as well, who jumped in. He was with us for the better part of the day as well. Who else am I missing? Anybody else? AC Adam. Mad shout outs to you for sure. It's Crimson, you dig. Mad shout outs to you. Paul Rodriguez was with us there screaming, keep Wheeler, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we cut Wheeler. But hey, I think we did great by way of running back, regardless, man. Who else? Oh, Osmonic 74. Yeah, he was all over. So was the MC Fact. Mad love to you, man. MC Fact's all over the place. Got to give the shout outs to you too, man.
Mr. Mayhem, Scrolls, I'm just helping you out.
Mm-hmm.
Sophistication, my dogs. I mean, there's so many people. Go ahead, keep going.
Triple R was out there with us for a little bit. Shout outs to Sports Chicago Style, Jedi Jada. Mad props to you, sir. Anybody else I'm really missing here? I think we probably covered just about. Oh, Marco King. Shout outs to Marco King. Yeah, King Booker was in here. I'm seeing King Booker now.
You hit Crimson?
Yeah, I shouted out Crimson. Derek Guy was out there too. Yeah, I think that should just about do it. But look, like, thanks for coming through. Thanks for hanging in with us. Jay Sanders was out there too. Look, I think we did a great job. Oh, shout outs to Black Diamond. I know you gave him a little bit of love there earlier on, but we'll just double it up. But yeah, I think we did a great job tonight, man. Marlon Johnson also. Laz was with us for a little bit, talking trash about Eric Bieniemy. So was Leroy Green, as you see fit. But yeah, that should just about round it out. I think. Jacob on the Don as well. Jacob on the Don. But yeah, we did a good job. I think we went through the whole exercise quite well. There will definitely be a couple of more franchise modes throughout the off season as we move forward. And yeah, man, I think we have a good understanding of what the requirements are for this team and how Ryan Poles could go about filling them. And that's really what the exercise was all about.
Yeah. And I just thank everybody for being here. You know what this was like, kids. It's just you ever grow up with any brothers, man? I had like four brothers in the house, all of them bigger than me, right? And, you get in a fight in the house, you know what I mean? Somebody might get hitting the fucking eye, or anything might happen, anything in the house. But the minute you go outside and somebody else tried to mess with somebody that, those two same kids can go outside and bet not nobody fuck with neither one of them, bro. Neither fucking one of them. And that's what this was like. It was just like this inside. We had this inside fight. We had all these people that really support what we do over here, and all these different virtues come together, and one person kind of make the last, pull that lever decision and have to live with it. Next time it'll be me. It might be FFG. It might be Trips. It might be anybody who wants to come on the show. Minister Charles, whoever it is, just get ready for the smoke. We can get in a fight inside the house, but the minute we get outside that door, bet not nobody else fuck with us. And that's what I mean by when I say I love the people at the Nomad Network and all the people that support what we do. Because you can say anything we want to each other. We can punch each other in the fucking eye. It won't matter. Bet not nobody outside this house do that. Because we all gonna pile on your ass. That's just how we are. We can have these kind of fights and disagreements and arguments and say shit to each other. And it's all right. It's all right. I still love Kedz, and I still love every last one of y'all for having anything you have to say about what you saw or heard here tonight. And so I just wanted to salute every last one of y'all for that, man. I thought it was lovely. I still think we came away with some great stuff. Really, really good stuff, man. And I just can't be more proud of what we put together. I can't wait Kedz sends me the files of what he did in free agency in comparison to what we did in the draft, because I think it put together, I think it's going to be dynamite looking. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to put that out there for everybody. I think the next time we do a live show is probably going to be, unless there's some big, huge breaking news, it's probably going to be Wednesday. But of course, we're going to have a whole bunch of shorts coming out from the shows that we've been doing. You know, that's going to always come out, man. It's going to be content all the time. But I just want to thank you guys one more time, because my girlfriend is here and she's like a fire-breathing dragon when she's got a day off right after this, man. She's off tomorrow and she wants the rest of this evening for her man, and I'm going to give it to her the best I can. I'm going to give her my best regards in the name of y'all. But with that being said, thank you guys one more time for being here. Stay tuned for we are developing some extra sauce, and right now we are in the coaching cycle right now and trying to fill out this coaching staff, and we're kind of stuck doing that kind of stuff right now. But understand, some extra sauce, it's going to be a hell of a variety show, man. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff on it, and we're going to get an intro for it, courtesy of my guy Hair Bear, and I hope he hears this. We're going to try to put it all together for him, and we're going to get another intro for that show. But that show is in development, so whatever you think about some extra sauce, just know, and we're going to really monetize the shit out of it. I ain't going to lie to you, because we need to make some money. We might move it to Patreon. Just being honest with you. Just being honest with you. If you like that show, just be prepared to go to Patreon to see it, because we want to set it up in a way that everybody can get paid. We're going to get sponsors and all that kind of stuff for that show, but it's in its infancy stages. When I say that, I mean it's really, we're not even drinking a bottle yet. We're on the tip. That's where it is. It just came out of the womb, and we're going to develop that and turn it into a motherfucker. I can promise you guys that. So with that being said, I want to say thank you one more time, and we're going to get out of here with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, people, there's no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, we are